I said something awful to my boyfriend, but I was under the influence.
Doesn't count. We all know it doesn't count.
Before I get started, I just want to say I know I effed up, and I am the a-hole here. My boyfriend is a wonderful human being who loves me and only deserves the best. By the way, this comes from Bet Russie, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So like I said, I, 29 female, have a wonderful, wonderful boyfriend, 28 male, and we live together. He had a bit of a rough time finding work, and he started a job at the post office where he works very hard and works 40 to 60 hours a week. I'm only saying this next part because it's necessary to the situation, but I make more than he does and work fewer hours than him, and we're struggling with some unexpected finances right now, and it's been causing some tension between us. Last night, I went to a bar with some coworkers, and I stayed out later than I should have, and came home at 2:30 a.m. pretty wasted. My boyfriend was up waiting for me and told me that he was worried about me, and I asked why he stayed up, and he told me that he was waiting for me and I shouldn't be out that late on a night when I have work the next day. I don't know why this set me off, but I got very angry and told him that he had no right giving me job advice since he doesn't have a real job and can't even afford to pull his weight like a loser. Ooh, ouch, man. Ouch.
I gotta say, working at the post office has got to be one of the most real jobs of all time.
Yeah, that's some for real stuff, especially around the holidays.
Yeah, no, as you already said, like, I know I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
She was a little intoxicated.
Definitely wrong. I could see getting annoyed at that, being like, hey, I'm fine. Like, you don't need to tell me what to do. Like, you don't.
That is also true. It's being like, wait, you telling me?
Yeah.
Oh, you stayed up past your bedtime. You're grounded.
Right. Like, I'm aware that it's not the ideal situation, but definitely not his way to respond. He told me that he thought I should go to bed and walked me over to my room, helped me get my shoes and dress off, and I just got in bed, lied down to go to sleep. But the worst part was as I was drifting off, I heard him crying in the bathroom. Oh, no. That hurts my heart. That's so sad. When I woke up this morning, he had gone to work, and now I'm at work hungover, which sucks. However, I have no idea what to say to him now. He should be home tonight, but I don't know what I can do at this point to let him know how sorry I am and how much I do admire him, and was just acting out of wasted stress last night. He loves steak and potatoes, and he's also a big movie guy, so I was thinking of making him steak and potatoes and renting a movie, but I just don't know. Any advice would be appreciated, and we do have an update, but what would you do in her situation?
I mean, you just got to say sorry.
Yeah. I like the idea of having a gesture in there. But yeah, in addition to that, definitely just apologize.
I think, like cooking them something could be a good way to express that you're, like, it was a slip of the tongue.
Yeah. Maybe try to figure out why you said that. Because I think, like, if I was him, I'd be like, is this just what you think of me all the time?
Right, yeah.
Because
you've now opened the door to a much more real conversation about your relationship and how y'all view each other.
Exactly. We do have an update. So I've been meaning to write this for 4 days, but I have just been completely wiped of all emotion bandwidth. My boyfriend is working hard at his job right now and is racking up some overtime, so I figured I'd take a moment to post it. First off, some information I left out of my original post. In case anyone didn't notice, I don't respond well to booze. I have no dependency on it, but my self-control and decision-making are really not good when I'm wasted, and I just get extremely vicious, and it brings out the absolute worst in me. Good thing to learn about yourself. On that same note, I had a group of coworkers who have been wanting to celebrate a promotion one of us got for the past 2 months, and Sunday was the first time any of us were free. So we were just going to have a Sunday afternoon chill that was going to end before 10. However, one bad decision led to another, and we all just collectively stayed up until 2 a.m. with drinks. Okay, if you're drinking very late the night before you have to go to work with your coworkers, kind of fun. You're all in it together. You're not really fun the next day, but at least you're with your friends.
It's like, hey, this just kind of happened.
Yeah.
Oops. But now we're all doing it together.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But like, yeah, if you know you're a mean drunk, don't get drunk. That
something to work
sounds
on.
bad.
Something to work on. Second, I said what I did out of annoyance I had with him regarding some financial decisions over the past 2 years that we are now reaping the benefits of. Long story that frankly doesn't matter because it's not about that. I'm still a little unhappy about it, and I expressed that in a very unhealthy manner. I'm so proud of him for finding a job and trying to provide for us. Now for the update. I read through the comments all afternoon and then wrote down a map of the things that I wanted to say and waited for him to get home. Additionally, I got in contact with my old therapist and he was able to squeeze me in for the following morning, so I called out of work the next day to meet him. My boyfriend finally came through the door and I asked if we could talk, and he said that I could, but he also had some things to say. I started by saying I had no idea what to say to express how sorry I am, except that I shouldn't have said what I said, and I love him and admire him for how hard he works. I also told him that I was going to stop drinking and I had an appointment with my therapist the next day. I also emphasized how much I appreciated how he waited for me and helped me get into bed after I came home, and how he absolutely didn't deserve what I said. He told me that I actually covered the bases of what he was going to say. He said that he was very hurt by what I said, but throughout the day he was thinking and said that it was so out of character for me that he actually started to get worried. Oh, interesting. Both of his parents had problems with booze at one point in his life, but got sober, and he told me that he was going to tell me I needed to quit drinking and see a therapist or anger management counselor, or else he couldn't stay in this relationship. Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, that pretty much is what she was saying. I told him I thought that was very fair and sensible boundary, and I would do my best to do whatever I could. Then he asked if I could be honest and asked me if I meant what I said. I told him I was being purposefully vicious because it came from a place of frustration, but I was intentionally trying to upset him, so I said some terrible things. He said that he'd love to talk to me about that place of frustration, but that wasn't the time for it. But he told me that he forgave me and was really happy and admired that I'm taking the steps to make things better. And we had a lovely long hug. Then I had a really emotional appointment with my therapist, and I told him everything that happened, and he helped me map out my feelings and how to express them to my boyfriend. The appointment went great, and I have another one next week, but he thinks that I should look into seeing a psychiatrist because I may very well have an undiagnosed mental health condition. That's the next step, definitely. On Wednesday, I had a sit down with my boyfriend where I expressed the frustrations, and he told me that my feelings were valid, and frankly, he still kicks himself that he didn't start a new job earlier too, because then his credit card debt probably wouldn't be so high. And he talked about how he's always felt like he let me down with his financial decisions, with being unemployed for such long periods of time. I won't get into it any further, but we had a really productive conversation. And you know what you should get more into is
crypto. Because I'm betting what that guy was into.
Maybe.
I just had to put that out there. Okay. He's like, financial decisions, not going to get into it. We're reaping the benefits, not going to get into it.
Yeah.
He was unemployed for a long time, not going to get into it.
Very possible theory right there.
This guy was trading meme coin.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But you know what you should also get into?
Yes.
Is more full episodes of stories just like this one. And you know how? You just got to go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime. Not crypto.
That's all it takes.
All it takes. And there is a little bit more to the story, but I love their communication.
Yes, this is good.
Yeah.
This is all good.
This is great. I think, I had something to say before.
But I cryptoed you.
Remember. I don't remember.
Crypto.
Exactly. But I feel bad that he feels that guilt of putting them in this situation, but I don't know. It seems like they're working it out.
This is what working it out looks like.
Yeah.
I think.
This totally is.
It can look like this.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. I really like that she's being very honest about why she was being mean. You know, I really like that she wasn't like, oh, I didn't mean it. I just said something random. I like that she was like, I'm going to be honest. I tried to hurt you.
Yeah. She's like, bro, you said that to me. I got so annoyed immediately.
Yeah.
And I tried to say the worst thing I could say to you.
Yeah.
And then I did.
Exactly. I love that she's being honest about that because, yeah, it's a problem. But you're not going to be able to fix it as a couple if you aren't just I was just straight up being bad. My bad. But there is a little bit more to the story. So yeah, we're taking steps and are openly communicating with each other, and it looks like we're going to be okay. We've been snuggling together at night, and this morning we even showered together before he went to work. I have some trust issues, so I'm still very anxious that he's going to come back and be like, wait, actually, no, I don't forgive you. But he's promised me that he's going to be open with how he feels, which he has been. So I think we're going to be okay. And there's a couple comments. Dinner and an apology is not going to cut it. You struck at his heart, and now you will need to bear your own. Spend the day in self-reflection. Be honest with yourself about whatever deep, ugly part of you wanted to say that to him. Kind of seems like she did all that.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to read
that
the comment.
comment's probably just rehashing some stuff we already...
Or before the update or something.
But that is the end of that story.
That is the end of that story.
I gave my boyfriend an engagement ultimatum. I want to take it back. My boyfriend and I are both young professionals in our late 20s who moved in together 6 months ago after graduating from professional school and relocating to a new city for work. We have been together for 4 years and have had no issues adjusting to living together. We're happy together, want the same things out of life, and take excellent care of each other. By the way, this comes from Dangerous Grocery, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, the issue is that I have known for a while that he is the person that I want to spend my life with. And I would like to settle down and hopefully start a family soon. I have been in a serious relationship, also lasted 4 years before him, so I know what I'm looking for. On the other hand, my boyfriend is not in the same headspace as me about this for a few reasons. 1, he was a late bloomer when it comes to relationships, and I was his first real girlfriend. And 2, he has a hard time making decisions about everything from his job to what pair of shoes to buy. When we discuss the future, I am very clear that I'm ready to settle down with him ASAP. He is also very clear that he loves me. He thinks we have a great thing, but he wants to take more time to see where it goes. He also jokes around about how he hasn't banged enough chicks. We had some serious commitment discussions last year when we were deciding where to live after graduating, and I told him that I wasn't going to try to relocate to the same city as him unless we were engaged. He didn't propose, and I stuck to my pew-pews. Despite very slim odds, we both coincidentally found jobs in the same city halfway across the country, so we moved there together and got an apartment together. Now, I'm starting to get fed up and heard about this situation. It was causing a lot of stress for me, and it was the main point of contention in our relationship. So in September 2017, I told him that when our lease is up in April 2018, I was going to move out unless we were engaged. He hasn't made a decision ever in his life without a deadline, so I figured this would help nudge him in the right direction. However, I'm starting to worry that he's not going to propose, mostly because he's telling me that he's not going to propose.
Wait, are we sure?
It's like, I don't know. I just get the feeling that he's not going to propose because he told me that.
But wait, won't he do the opposite of what he's exactly telling you?
Now I'm regretting this ultimatum, and I think maybe I was stupid for ruining a good thing by trying to rush things. But it's been 4 years. Also, I worry that if he does propose, it will be forced and he'll always regret it. On the other hand, I gave him basically the same ultimatum last year during our job search, and he made it very clear that he'd rather end up in different cities, which knowing us would likely mean breaking up, than get engaged. I'd like to think that I am being rational and empowered here, but am I being stupid and desperate? If he doesn't propose by April, should I stick to my pew-pews and move out, basically sacrificing this great relationship because it wasn't moving at my pace? I'm happy to answer any questions too. The situation is getting so stressful, and I appreciate anyone who takes the time to read this and give advice. And there is an update, but what are your thoughts, John?
It's just giving the classic, like, oh, my partner is so perfect except for everything about them, but then also all the other things. Like, bro is literally telling you that he wants to bang other chicks, he's not ready to commit, and I think, like, it's not that you're stupid and desperate, but I think we need to recognize the situation for what it is, and it's like, he does not want to commit, potentially doesn't even want to be in this relationship. He's just, like, waiting for you to end it. Like, it is good to recognize those things, because when you try to ultimatum or, like, you know, hard you kind of hard press someone into doing something, that's not going to be a winning scenario.
If you have to ultimatum someone into a proposal, you guys probably aren't ready to get married.
Not ready. I don't think they're ready. That's what I think.
I agree completely with you, John. One, you can't force someone to marry you. And also, it just really doesn't seem like this guy wants to be in a relationship with you. It just feels like he thinks it's the easiest option. He's like, I mean, I guess we're in the same city, so he's like, if I have the opportunity to bang other chicks.
What do you think I'm going to do?
I don't think that you're wrong for wanting to marry someone after 4 years. I just think you're different.
But bro does kind of suck.
Bang other chicks, saying that to your girlfriend, wild. And she's like, yeah, he just makes funny jokes. He's just acting. It's like, no, girl, we're not playing D&D. This is real life. But there is an update.
Let's go.
Now on to the update. Boyfriend knew and acknowledged the ultimatum. He's like, yeah, I hear you. And I tried to use this as a springboard to have a serious conversation about where he sees the future going. We did have some sit-down talks that didn't really go anywhere. And he told me to stop bringing it up. So I stopped. We carried on for a little while being our happy selves without mentioning the ultimatum. Part of me hoped he had a proposal planned and would surprise me.
Okay, OP, we have to open our eyes for ourselves.
The man saying that he doesn't want to marry you and he wants to bang other chicks is not planning a surprise proposal for you. Now we are 10 days away from March 31st. Deadline, which I 100% plan to stick to. And he just told me that he wants me to visit his parents in their home in September. And after the visit, he would then talk with them about our relationship and consider proposing around December. Wait, now he's kind of changing his mind?
He's thinking about it.
Part of me is so insulted and angry by this idea. First of all, I have met his parents before and actually spent plenty of quality time with them. So far, I like them. They like me. They live in a more isolated state that's hard to get to from where I live. Plane tickets are pretty expensive, and it would be a 2-day drive. I have suggested that I visit them multiple times, and we've had plenty of opportunities to do so, but my boyfriend was against it for one reason or another. The saddest thing is that we both coordinated time off work last week. We knew about the vacation for months and had plenty of time to plan. He told me that he was going to visit his parents, and said that he was thinking about asking me to come with, but kept it vague. He's telling you that he was thinking about asking you to come with? He hasn't even asked you to come with?
I'm like thinking about it, but like there's these like other chicks that I want to bang and like I might invite them. So, you know, I'm thinking about it.
I looked up flights, which were reasonable in price at the time, and tried to plan everything. But when I presented the information to boyfriend, he would say, not now, too busy, and put off planning the trip. Then, less than 3 weeks before the vacation started, boyfriend told me I needed to come to his family's home with him on this trip, and if that didn't happen, there was no way he would propose. By that time, all the flights I had been tracking had gone way up in price because the departure date was so close. It would have been financially very tight for me to pay for the flight, and honestly, I think what he did was crappy. Because he told me at the last minute what I had to do instead of planning in advance like I had tried to do. So I thought it over and decided not to go with him. Now he is saying the reason he can't propose is because I haven't met his family in their home. Like I said, I've met his family a handful of times in the past. His family and my family have met each other. He says that this needs to happen for his family to be okay with us getting married. If he had told me any time before the vacation was close and flight prices shot up, it would have been fine. We had multiple vacations since I issued the ultimatum, and we could have gone to visit his parents then. I feel like this whole thing was him setting me up for failure so that he could not propose and then blame it on me. Not sure if it's relevant, but he is Asian American and I am white. He was born in the US. I asked him if the need for me to visit his parents' home before he proposes is an aspect of his culture. And he said, maybe. What? He's like, that's actually a pretty good excuse. Yeah,
maybe is hilarious.
Maybe.
Just maybe is crazy.
I don't want to be culturally insensitive at all. So if anyone has knowledge about this, please share. He doesn't even have knowledge about this. Now that we're 10 days out and he's realizing I'm serious, he spends all our time together begging me not to go through with it, but he's not planning to propose. He says it doesn't make sense because he's telling me that he would propose in December, but he was willing to take the risk of losing me rather than propose by April. I see where he's coming from in a way if we do both want to get married, but I can't do this anymore. Also, I think he's an adult and find it insulting that he's blaming this whole thing on his parents not meeting me in their home. They're asking him constantly what his plan is with me. They don't know about the ultimatum. And so I get the impression that they are just as curious about the future of our relationship as I am. I don't think they sat him down and told him I need to visit them before he can propose, but that's just a hunch. Any advice or comments on the situation would be appreciated, and there is an update a year later.
Ooh.
So I think we're going to get some of the juice.
That's tea.
That is tea, but do you have any sips to share?
I'll pour something out. I mean, next bro is going to be like, I was going to propose to you on 7th Street because 7 is my lucky number, but like 7th Street's been like so busy. It's like under construction. So like we have to wait till it's like done. I can't even imagine proposing to you. So like we need to wait for the city.
I mean, you're driving yourself crazy trying to, meet all of his insane demands and then putting your own demands that are as like malleable as freaking Play-Doh. No one actually is doing anything to solve these problems. And I think maybe the solve is to leave this relationship with a man who doesn't want to commit to you. But there is a year later update.
I'm ready.
I'm hoping it's going to go where I want it to go. March 2018. I couldn't go through with the ultimatum. I was planning to move out, actually find a new apartment, and wrote the check for the deposit. But when push came to shove, I couldn't picture my life without my boyfriend. I decided that I loved him too much to leave him over the arbitrary deadline that I created. I also believe that he meant what he said about getting engaged in December. I felt I was being silly for leaving him after 4.5 years because I wouldn't wait another few months. As a compromise, he said we could get a cat. I had been wanting one, but he'd been saying no. He said he'd go to at least one family event with me this year. Wow, one family event? That's so nice of him. On March 31st, the day I was planning to move out, we got a cat together. April to September of 2018. My boyfriend and I spent time enjoying each other without really mentioning the ultimatum. We both needed to recover from the damage it did to our relationship. I got a therapist and started working on myself. I picked up a new hobby, running. Yep, you certainly are running away from things. Developed new friendships and spent a lot of time working on my career and hanging out with my amazing new cat. I think focusing on myself, my career, and my friendships took some of the pressure off of him. Also, multiple family events came and went, and my boyfriend had an excuse not to attend all of them. I'm not sure it was that big of a deal anyway. By the end of the summer, we were doing great. And it was like the ultimatum never happened.
We ignored all of our problems and never brought it up, so it was all perfect.
He also complains about our cat constantly. September 2018, visiting his family. As I promised, I went to visit his parents in their home in September. As I mentioned in the previous post, he is Chinese American and I'm white. So I studied up on my basic Chinese and was able to speak and understand a little when we were all together. It was a great trip, and I genuinely enjoyed his parents and had a lot of fun in his hometown. I left a few days before he did so that he'd have time to spend with them alone and speak with them about his plans for us in the future. I asked him a few times how that conversation went, and he said that they're happy with us having a future together, but that getting engaged in December would be too fast. That seemed absolutely crazy to me. And again, it seemed like he was projecting his own views onto his parents. He also told me I needed to learn Chinese before we got married. His parents speak perfect English, but prefer Chinese when they are with family. So I started doing Rosetta Stone, October to December of 2018. Around November, I started getting antsy that my boyfriend was going to change his mind again. He was starting to show his pattern of making excuses. For instance, one day he casually mentioned that he couldn't propose by December because he needed to save money. We share finances and money is not an issue for either of us. Another time, he freaked out that I have student loans. Most people in my profession do. And I have a very secure job, good pay, and automatic loan payments, and demanded that he see a spreadsheet of my finances before he could consider having a future together. Luckily, I already have the spreadsheet, which I showed him, and he calmed down. In the meantime, my friends and family were starting to ask questions about the future wedding. Although they had the best intentions, it was stressing me out because I was worried that after all of this, there would be no wedding. I worked with my therapist on letting go of this stress, redirecting my family away from relationship questions. I also created a no nagging rule in my mind. I stopped dropping hints, mentioning wedding, engagement, etc. with my boyfriend, Didn't do it much anyway, as I had learned my lesson from the ultimatum. We spent Christmas together for the first time this year, and I really thought he would propose then, but he didn't. And I didn't bring it up or pout about it. He visited his family for New Year's, and I was left in our city working, so it definitely didn't happen then. January 2019. I accepted that he actually didn't follow through with what he said he would do, despite me holding up my end of the deal. I was the perfect girlfriend that he asked me to be, and I try to use this as an opportunity for growth, both individually and within the relationship, and still nothing changed. I was still on the momentum of not nagging him and trying to suppress all of my thoughts of wanting to marry him. It's now to the point that I equate my own thoughts of marrying him with shame and self-loathing, like they are bad thoughts that I shouldn't have. Your therapist sucks.
If I could just say real quick, what did she say? I was being the perfect girlfriend. Suppressing your feelings to appease someone else is not being the perfect girlfriend. You have the full right to express what you want and what you're looking for in a relationship. And it is not okay that, he brought you to a place where you feel like you have to just like screw this lid on everything you think and feel. Unacceptable.
Absolutely. You are allowed to ask for the things that you need in your relationship. He is allowed to say, I don't want those things. But then it's like, okay, maybe we depart. I realize I have been feeling so with my own desires for my future, which is so sad. But a few things have happened in the past few weeks that have made me realize that this is all BS. Whew, it took a while. First, one of my superiors at work offered me some great opportunities at my job if I stayed on board long term. However, my boyfriend wants to think about moving us out of the city we live in because we don't like it here. I'm actually okay with it for the most part. He also has given a hard no to ever moving back to my home state. His reason, my family lives there and they annoy him. I started thinking, wow, this person is putting a lot of limits on my life for someone who still can't commit to me for the long term. Then this weekend, I went back to my home state for my best friend's baby shower. Also, I want to have kids. That's the main reason I'm in a hurry to get married. Biological clock is ticking. So yesterday, I was hanging out with my friend and her husband, helping them set up their nursery, and I had this aha moment where I realized that it's okay for me to want to get married and have kids. There's no shame in having my own wants.
Yes.
Oh, he's finally realizing it. And at this point, not only have my wants and desires been shut down by my boyfriend, no marriage, we can't stay in the city where I have job opportunities. We also can't live in my home state where my entire family is. But I've internalized this sense of shame about expressing or feeling anything that conflicts with his desires. So I'm starting to form a plan to move on, because this dude has taken more from my life than he's adding to it. I'm hoping to get anyone's opinion, advice, support about where to go from here. Also, I am willing to hear all the I told you so's from everyone who said I needed to leave this guy in March when I said I would. I totally deserve it. Thank you for reading. And there is a third update. I do want to point out that it's been a year, and while OP is thinking about it, she has not actually broke up with her boyfriend. I'm hoping that the next update that we get does do that.
You can't be a perfect girlfriend to someone who truly doesn't want you.
The thing is, you're literally meeting all of the goalposts. You started learning Chinese. You will never meet them because he's got to keep moving.
I think Opie's finally having the epiphany, which is great.
Some people need 5 years to realize that their partner doesn't want to be with them.
It can happen. We've seen it longer on this show. But the important part is she is realizing it. She is growing, and we're slowly steering the ship back towards, like OP said, just because I want to have kids and get married, it's not a bad thing. Yes, do not demonize yourself. There is no bad want or need.
But let's get into this update. I spoke with my boyfriend last night about all of this. I started by asking what his roadblocks are and where he sees the relationship going. He brought up the fact that it's moving too fast for his parents. You liar. Your parents don't think your 5-year relationship is moving too fast. And some issues that he has with the relationship. Number 1, that we don't make decisions together. For example, the fact that I wanted to stay in our city for career opportunities despite him wanting to move next year. Also, sometimes I make plans to hang out with friends on weekends when he's free instead of us planning the weekends together. Second point is that you have friends. Cool. Number 3, he worries about the fact that I get a lot of Amazon packages and he doesn't know what I'm buying. I showed him my Amazon history. It's mostly household supplies that we both use and occasionally supplies for my hobby. But that's like $20 a month max. Also, that is all on my credit card, which I comfortably pay off each month.
Hey, you need to stop buying soaps online or I'm breaking up with you. The proposal is off.
This man would have a conniption if he lived in our house. So I don't think I need to clear every purchase by him. And he also doesn't like that I'm chronically 5 minutes late to everything. That's true, and my fault. 5 minutes late is like really not that bad.
Basically, OP's existence is wrong in this man's eyes.
There is nothing wrong with you. Also, since it came up a lot in the comments, I wanted to mention that he explicitly said that none of this has to do with cultural barriers or the fact that we're an interracial couple. Well, actually, he explicitly said, maybe. After all this, he said he's not ready for marriage. Shocker. By the way, you should be ready to listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up Okie Storytime. We are alarmingly close to the end of the story. I'm worried. I'm just hoping this update with her breaking up with this man, because if it doesn't, you're the a-hole. I was pretty pissed and told him I wished he told me this a year ago so I could have moved on. The only credit I will give him is that he did tell you that he didn't want to marry you a year ago. He basically tried to keep me around for another year so that he would have more time to figure out if he was ready. So I told him the relationship is over, and he is appearing to be in disbelief. He's trying to be really nice now, probably to get me to change my mind, but I'm remaining gently firm here. The relationship is over. That was a nightmare, a 5-year nightmare.
I feel like I had like a rotting, just like nerve exploding tooth just like implanted in my jaw, and I'm like, please, someone just yank it out with pliers immediately.
I really love the phrasing of I remain gently firm, because I can just imagine her being like, no, I think I have to leave you.
He's like, babe, I'll let you have one extra soap that you order on Amazon. We're cool.
I think it's really funny because I do think in these scenarios, a lot of times, like, the partner is scared that the relationship's gonna end. They're like, okay, fine, I'll marry you. Obviously, it doesn't even seem like he tried that hard. He was just nicer. But yeah, she left him, finally.
Yes, happy ending.
My boyfriend suggested that I get plastic surgery. I refused.
Because you can't breathe out of your left side of your nose, right?
So, I've been with this guy for nearly 2 years now, and we were unofficially together for a while before that. He is smart, funny, attractive, and is probably the best thing to ever happen to me. We rarely argue, and this is definitely the healthiest relationship I've ever been in. By the way, this comes from user Throwaway8547, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, I am a very straightforward person, and I have always prided myself on my ability to speak my mind about things that I think are important, which is why I'm struggling so much here, because I have no idea how to address the problem that I'm having, or whether it would even be appropriate for me to talk about it at all.
Okay.
While my relationship makes me very happy, I don't think my partner likes my chest, and it bothers me. Throughout our relationship, I've noticed that he'll be on Instagram a lot, which is normal and fine, but one day I realized that his likes would consist entirely of underwear models, e-girls, Twitch streamers that he's never watched, etc., and those photos would all focus on their chest area. I thought nothing of it at first, but one day I was on Instagram. I switched to the likes tab and saw that my boyfriend had just liked a bunch of photos that were basically just various close-ups of women with large front airbags in bras and bikinis. This shouldn't bother me. I know it shouldn't. I feel silly writing this, but he never ever comments on my front airbags. I have a very small chest. I am literally an A cup, and it's something I have always been teased about. My sister and friends particularly used to make comments about it, many of which have stuck with me. I'm an adult now, age 21, so people don't make childish comments like those anymore, but I am very much aware of how flat-chested I am compared to other women. My boyfriend's ex is quite busty, and so are all the women that he's attracted to. But I'm attracted to women as well, and I find all body types to be beautiful. I initially thought my boyfriend would be the same as me in that regard, but I don't know. I feel like most people are not like that. Just being honest.
People got their types.
Yeah, most people aren't like every single body type. Down with that. Like,
yeah.
If you are, that's cool.
I got a type, dude.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just like, yeah, everyone's type is different.
Quirky, artsy girls. That's my type.
Quirky art girls.
Oh, man. I'm down bad for him. I don't know how it happened.
He is lovely to me. But there's just certain occasions where I worry. I'll try wearing cute bras or dresses that sort of emphasize my chest a bit, and he won't be interested or even compliment me. That's really unlike him, as he usually is very complimentary, and he'll say nice things about every other part of me. The fact that he seems disinterested in my chest does play upon my insecurity about that area of my body, but I know it isn't his fault. I know if I were to ask him, he would reassure me and say he thinks I'm beautiful. Well, that's certainly what you would hope he would say. I just don't really know what to do. I hear him talking about girls with his friends sometimes. It makes me feel weird to know that he does that, especially when he also is happy to like inappropriate photos on Instagram, knowing full well that all of our friends can see his activity. I can't tell what is really bothering me the most here. If I'm honest, I don't know if it's him only using Instagram to look at other girls, the fact that these girls all have bigger front airbags than me, and I know he's not all that interested in my chest, the fact that our mutual friends can see him liking these photos of women in lingerie while also knowing I can see it too. I think I would care a little bit less if these were just celebrities, but they're not. One of the reoccurring girls, they're reoccurring? Oh no! Yeah, dude, this is a problem where it's like, I just want you to want me, please, and I think you clearly just want someone else. One of the reoccurring girls is someone he knows, and he went to her birthday party instead of mine this year. In his defense, we were in different cities, but I did invite him, but he didn't want to travel that day as it would take an hour for him to get to me.
Ooh, I don't know. Is he just comfortable being with you? I don't know.
Yeah, do you not press him on anything? Because if I had a partner who went to a different girl's birthday, and then it's like, yeah, I can't make it out to you because you're an hour away. You know, like an episode of television.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, so we're breaking up. Because clearly you literally don't care about me.
You have different priorities.
Right. I'd also like to clarify that I don't normally pay attention to what he does on social media. This was just something I noticed one day and began paying attention to. It has reached the point where I'll scroll through the likes tab on Instagram now just to see if he's still doing it, and he does it multiple times a day. I don't like how paranoid I'm becoming about this, and I know it's unhealthy, which is why I'm writing this here. Should I address this with him? Is it even right for me to care? Oh my God. Yes, if you care about something and it makes you feel anything, you can feel free to care about it and want to talk about it. It doesn't entitle you to anything, but you could certainly have a conversation about it. There's nothing wrong with it. Oh boy, I want everyone on earth to know that.
Guess who said they were in a very healthy relationship?
Who was that?
Have we forgotten who she is?
I also want to clarify that none of the photos are just selfies or anything like that. They are exclusively revealing and suggestive photos with front airbags being the primary focus. I obviously don't think there's anything wrong with people posting this sort of content, so I apologize if I've come across that way. I'm just concerned about why my boyfriend is so fixated on these things when he will not comment on, touch, or even really look at my own chest. Update. I finally confronted my boyfriend, 22 male, and I don't know what to do now. Basically, I made a post a few days ago asking what to do because I was concerned about his Instagram to the point of it making me paranoid, and his disinterest in my chest was making me insecure. Jump cut to today. I finally had the chance to do what you were all suggesting and simply talk to him about it. So, about 3 or 4 hours ago, I sat him down, and after a lot of me struggling to get my words out, I blurted something along the lines of, "Do you find my body attractive?" He looked confused and said, "Yeah," and then asked why. So I told him that I know my bra size isn't exactly impressive and that I see his likes on Instagram. His reply was really strange and immediately made me suspicious. He said, "Is it just my likes that bother you?" without acknowledging the other things I said. So I asked, "What do you mean?"
This does make me think. Because I like certain kind of content. That's not who I am.
I'll go ahead. I'm going to let you get away with that. I won't dig. So I asked, "What do you mean?" For about a minute or two, we were going in a circle, and it went something like this. Him, "I was just checking. It was only the likes." Me, "What do you mean?" Him, "I just wanted to make sure you were talking about the likes." Me, "What else would I be talking about?" Him, "Nothing." Me, "Have you been leaving comments?" Him, "No. Why? Would that bother you?" Me, "I guess it depends on what they were." Him, "So it's just the likes then?" Me, "Was there anything else?" Him, "No, just checking that you're only worried about the likes." Ah!
This gives me a reason to snoop. Snooping time.
Okay, Snoopy time. Then the conversation went downhill from there. I tried to bring the conversation back to my initial point about how I was concerned that he didn't find me as attractive as them because of my bra size, and he just groaned really loudly and sighed. He said, and I'm writing this word for word because it's stuck with me since he said it, "Look, you're beautiful, but I just prefer big front airbags." So that's when you leave that guy, I would guess. I'd be like, then you should go. And you go, you know what? And you deserve to have your preference. So I'm going to I'm going to extricate myself because that was just about the least empathetic, worst way any human could have responded to that situation. Okay. Okay. No crap, but how is someone meant to respond to that? I just sort of sat there and didn't know what to say. So he took my hands and just started talking about how he thinks I'm pretty and wonderful and he loves me, but he has a specific type and that he can't really get turned on by flat chests. You've been dating me though, dude. What is your malfunction? I might be an A cup, but I'm not effing flat. But that's not the issue. I'm just stunned that he said that. Anyway, I asked if he's ever been turned on by my front airbags, and he's like, not really. Then I asked if he's ever been turned on by girls on Instagram, and he said, well, yeah. Have you seen their front airbags?
Have you seen them Bentleys? Them yayas?
The Bentleys? That stung, but that was obvious. I asked him why he doesn't just watch, some adult content, and he said he does, but he likes Instagram as well because it's more personal. LMAO, WTF. You walk away, girl.
You gotta get content where you can get it, man.
You gotta walk now. It's time to walk, dude, because it's more personal. Insanity. I asked if he had ever messaged them, and he said he messaged the one girl that he actually knows and whose birthday he went to instead of mine. The worst one he could be messaging. He insisted it wasn't flirty or anything, and I believed him. I was very sad and quiet after a while, so he just started saying that he isn't going to stop looking at other girls because that would be like telling a kinky person that they can only have vanilla spicy time.
I love this man's logic. It makes so much sense.
He kept promising me that he still thinks I'm amazing and blah, blah, blah. But then, and still while talking in this cute, sympathetic voice, he said, if this is really getting to you, you could get a front airbag job. Just pump up your front airbags.
This is the only solution he can see about moving forward. Wow.
He's like,
wow.
"No."
And you only have a problem because he prefers that. And now he's making it your problem.
Yeah.
You see what he did there? OP, you see the manipulation?
If you're
Open your eyes.
upset, if you're so upset, maybe you could think about a little cosmetic surgery.
Girl, open him.
Yeah, just go get plastic surgery, babe. You'll be fine. Just spend like loads of money that you don't have. Sure, I mean, yeah, it's just that simple, isn't it? I think I stopped being sad at that point and started getting angry because I couldn't believe he said that, and I still can't. The most annoying part was that he was so chill about it, even after he had clearly hurt me. He just sort of shrugged off my reaction and continued like, well, I just thought it would help you feel better. I don't want surgery. I am scared of hospitals, and I have had surgery before, and it was awful. He is fully aware of this. I've never wanted plastic surgery either, and I don't think I'd even have the money for it, though I don't really know how much it costs. I just feel like crap, though. I've always had insecurities about not having large front airbags because it's something I was teased about, and most people are bigger than me, but I've never felt the need to actively try and change it. As a whole, I do like my body, even if it's not perfect, Yeah. I don't want surgery. And I know he's not forcing me to get it, but the way he said it and continued to talk about it, I just feel like crap. Am I really that unattractive to him? I asked him to leave after a while because the conversation was upsetting me too much, and I just wanted to be alone. He was really sweet and kissed my forehead as he left, and it's making me feel like I'm overreacting. Girl, stop it. He's gaslighting you right now. Stop. Stop. He's literally the best boyfriend I could ever ask for? No, he's not. He could be better. And he's always wonderful to me. I shouldn't be reacting like this to something so minor. And I know I'm being dramatic, but I just feel awful, and I don't know what to do. I'm not going to get plastic surgery, but he literally isn't attracted to my body, so you leave. Well, not my front airbags. I don't want him to cheat on me. I doubt he ever would anyway. He's honestly amazing. But he does prefer other girls. Girl, I'm convinced he cheated on you with that girl. He ditched you to go to her birthday instead.
It's just about the likes, right? Just about the likes.
Right. He's like, how much do you know? That's what he was asking. What do you know? What do you know?
Yeah.
You see my likes? So you don't know that I
Yeah.
slept with that girl on your birthday?
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, it's just the likes. You know how easy it is to say, no, baby, you're so beautiful and perfect and everything about you is wonderful and I think you're attractive and you're so beautiful. It's just that I need you to have D cups.
Oh, brother. He probably wants A, B, C, D to Z cups.
I don't want him to just listen to how crazy this is. I don't want him to cheat on me. I doubt he ever would anyway. He's honestly amazing. But he does prefer other girls. What? That means he's going to leave me one day unless I get better for him, but I don't know how. You leave him. Maybe start having menage a trois with other girls? That could end so badly, though, and I'm too anxious for that right now. I don't know what to do. You break up with him. This all happened today, so it's very fresh, and I just feel awful and helpless. Any advice would be appreciated. Please break up with him. Break up with him.
Yeah. That's the most healthy solution. But when you don't know what's good for you.
Yeah, it's true. That is
Yeah.
true.
Just please listen to some of these comments. But Dakota, we're almost done, right? Like she's about to wrap up and have a solution ready.
Totally. We're only halfway through. Comments. Comment 1. Don't change your body just because your boyfriend is an inconsiderate knucklehead. Him constantly being like, it's just the likes, right? Is suspicious. Him messaging that girl and going to her party and not yours is absolutely not cool. And telling you to change your body is a complete no. You can 100% find a guy who loves your body and won't make you feel insecure like that and who will be more genuine to you. Ditch this guy and go find that guy instead. There's a second update. Let's get into it. My boyfriend is in the shower and left his phone behind because it was charging. Girl, why aren't you leaving him? My phone was on 13%, so I decided to use the charger while my boyfriend wasn't using his phone. Anyway, his screen lit up when I removed the charger, and his lock screen and background, or whatever you want to call it, is a picture of him holding another girl.
Holding.
His phone background is him with another girl? This is a crime, so you shouldn't do it, but I would have spiked that phone immediately until it was into a million pieces. I would have spiked that phone. Don't do that. It's a crime. So this girl, let's call her Lucy, is a friend of his. So it shouldn't be strange. But this year, he chose to go to her birthday party instead of mine. And he likes a lot of inappropriate pictures of her on Instagram. This is like the game of connect the dots, and all 3 dots are in a straight line. And OP is going like, where do I go? He cheated on you. Done. I don't really know much about my boyfriend's dynamic with Lucy, but I know they communicate regularly. But I've never been suspicious of anything between them. I've also never seen this photo before, but it seems very recent. I didn't unlock his phone because I feel like snooping would be a huge violation. But am I right in finding this a little odd? My phone background is always either a photo of him or a photo of the two of us, and he'll make comments if I change it. Only playful comments, but he will jokingly sulk about it unless my lock screen / background is him or us. I know his background has been a picture of me for a while, so I'm not sure when he changed it. Should I say anything? How do you feel? Do you feel like you want to say something? Do you feel like it bothered you? If the answer is yes, say something.
Say something.
I don't want him to think I'm angry. I'm not. I just find it a little strange, I suppose.
You have the right to be angry.
I feel like this OP maybe like grew up in an environment where they learned that like negative emotions are like you're not allowed to have them.
Yeah. It seems that way.
It's because you should be furious at all of this right now. I've also not been feeling very good about myself lately. I wonder why. So I know I could be overthinking right now. Sorry. Leave him. Say something. Really press the issue.
Yeah. I mean, you know what's the hard thing to do? That's what you got to do.
Update number 3.
Oh my gosh.
My boyfriend of 2 years changed his phone background to another girl. I asked him about it, and he told me to get plastic surgery. Again! Life really is an absolute effing adventure. Thank you for all of your messages. I'm on mobile, and I don't know how to link to my previous post, but basically, I unplugged the charger from my boyfriend's phone while he was showering so that I could charge my phone. His screen lit up when I did this and revealed his lock screen was him holding a female friend, Lucy. He chose this friend's birthday over mine. I didn't blame him because he would have needed to drive an hour to see me, which is a very reasonable distance.
Yeah.
And is frequently liking inappropriate pictures of her bazongos. So here's the update. He came out of the shower and immediately made a beeline for his phone. When he noticed I had unplugged it, he immediately asked, why? I responded honestly and said that I had wanted to charge my phone. I then decided to do what everyone suggested. I asked him about his background. I wasn't aggressive or anything. I literally just said, so I noticed I'm not your background anymore, in a playful tone, just like how he talks to me when I change mine. He asked if that was a problem, and I said no, but I didn't want the conversation to end like that. So I asked him why he chose that photo. He didn't like this question. He didn't raise his voice. He just looked at me funny and asked what I meant. He immediately got that defensive? After he gave me that funny-faced look, he then asked me if I was jealous of the girl in the picture. I said no. I was just surprised because I didn't realize they were that close. He asked me if I went through his phone, and I said no. This whole time he was being so calm and nice, and he really didn't seem at all angry. He always was lovely to me, and he was being so good about this. He really, really is always lovely to me, and I mean that. I doubt that because he skipped your birthday, but his question about me going through his phone worried me a little because why would he need to ask me that? Oh my God, we're starting to develop our ability to sense suspicious things. Yeah, we're there. Even though he remained super calm, he asked me again if I went through his phone, and he just kept asking. It was like, him, did you go through my phone? Me, no. Him, are you sure? Me, yes. Him, do you promise? Me, yeah, I promise. And then he said that it would be a deal breaker if he ever found out I had been snooping. I hadn't snooped and would never snoop. And I told him that. He just kissed me on the forehead and took his phone and basically just started messaging someone and watching stuff on his laptop. The forehead kisses, I've never hated forehead kisses more in my whole life than in this story.
I love forehead kisses.
But coming from this guy, it just feels like...
it's manipulative.
It feels dastardly. He's just watching that stuff on his laptop, so the conversation had clearly ended for him. I didn't know what to say or do at this point because I was just feeling really guilty, but I was also concerned that he thought I wasn't trustworthy, and I felt bad for bringing up the photo. I was really quiet, but just watched YouTube with him for a bit. Usually, he gets pretty handsy with me when we watch stuff together, and he did this time too, but I wasn't really feeling it, so I declined his advances. Kept trying and was playfully saying things like, don't be so sulky. And when I said I wasn't sulking and I just wasn't in the mood, he said, this is because of Lucy, isn't it? Oh no, he said he still had to play. This is because of Lucy, isn't it? He still had the playful voice, but it really surprised me and I felt embarrassed and guilty and annoyed. I don't remember what I said, but I think I denied it being due to her. He stopped touching me and sighed, and then told me that he thought I was being too jealous and insecure lately, and that I was projecting all my feelings onto Lucy?
Oh boy. It's going for the turn of the worst. Oh boy.
He didn't shout or anything, and he seemed more disappointed or concerned than mad, but it was just so much, and I'm still really confused by it. Girl, this is a professional gaslighter. This guy's gaslighting you like he is a streetlight in San Diego. I have never been a jealous person, but it's true that I can be insecure sometimes. I don't feel good about my front airbags, and I don't feel good enough for my boyfriend because he's so amazing and so attractive. Your boyfriend sucks.
Yeah. Sure.
I've never, ever let that affect anything, though, and this is truly the best and most healthy relationship I've ever been in, and we never, ever have conflict, which is, folks, never, never, I will always call that a red flag. Never having conflict in a relationship, something is wrong there. People will naturally have conflict.
Yep.
You have to work through it together.
They really do.
Find the solution. Like, if you're never having conflict, it's because someone's manipulating the situation so that there isn't any conflict ever.
Yeah, sure.
I just wish OP could see her self-worth. I apologized and said I didn't mean to project, and I asked him what he meant by that. He said that it's obvious that my insecurity about my body is having a bad effect on me and is making me jealous of girls with better bodies. He's telling you this?
But like the source of this is with him, and he's not gonna fess up. This is weird.
God. Then he proceeded to unlock his phone and go to Lucy's Instagram and scroll through, showing me all the photos of her in various bikinis and cosplays, etc., while asking me if I felt jealous. This man's lucky to be alive. At this point, I started to cry, and I'm still embarrassed by that. I wasn't crying out of jealousy. I just couldn't understand what was going on, and I was so embarrassed. My boyfriend didn't get angry or anything. He just hugged me and said, "See, you're too insecure." Then he began talking about how I should get a front airbag job. He's mentioned this several times over the past few days since I asked him if he found my front airbags attractive, and he said no. I told him I don't want surgery, and he knows this, but he said it's the only way I'm going to stop being insecure and that I'm just going to resent other women if I don't change. Or you can break up with him and find the guy who appreciates you exactly the way you are right now.
She's so far in. She has years that she's been with him, and that's not an option. It's hard. She probably will be dumped by him. She will not dump him. She will probably be dumped by him.
That's really just so wild to me. I'm so sorry, OP, that you had to go through this. He started showing me photos of women who had gotten implants, saying stuff like, look how happy she is. And look, this girl's even bigger than Lucy. He's like, hey, check out the implant I caught down at the pond. It's the biggest one in the county.
Goodness gracious.
My God, dude. I just felt miserable. I still do. Of all the things to say to me, why say this? Why show me this crap when I've said I don't want surgery? He wasn't being mean. Yes, he was. But that crap really still stings. People can be mean when they're not yelling. I told him that I'm really not projecting onto Lucy at all and that I didn't care about her front airbags. And I told him that I only mentioned his lock screen because he always complains when mine isn't a photo of him or us. I was pretty distressed at this point. He wasn't really responding, just sort of looking at me. It was frustrating. Then I asked why he went to her birthday instead of mine. I was pretty worked up at that point, so I just sort of blurted it out. Yeah, because it's like the most important question that has yet to be asked. His response baffled me so much that I stopped crying because I was so confused. I'm still confused. He said he didn't go to her party and that he went to mine.
Oh, no.
Literally.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Girl. You know the truth. You know the truth right now. You know the absolute truth. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my God.
Please tell me
No
this.
way.
This has got to be the last time, right?
Yeah.
Him trying this has to be the last. Like, we're getting closer to the end here. This has to be the last thing he said that finally made you go, oh my God, this guy's literally just completely made up. This is all fake.
Okay.
So he said that he didn't go to her party and that he went to mine. Literally all I could say was, what? And he said that he wouldn't have done that and that I was just remembering wrong. I am not remembering wrong. I remember it perfectly. And I remember us even talking on the phone about it that night. We've had conversations about him going to her party. I know some of the people he went with. It literally happened. But he said it didn't, while being completely calm and sincere because he is a gaslighting sociopath who has no qualms lying through his teeth to you. He said I must have been too wasted to remember the night properly, but that's ridiculous and not remotely true. He kept saying, don't you remember? And then telling me things that literally didn't happen that night, but he was so sure. And now I'm doubting myself so much.
Oh, no. Oh, no. OP.
You're a victim, OP.
OP, you're close. You're almost out. You're almost out. See the real.
My birthday was very recently as well, so I don't know why I'm struggling to remember. I'm just so confused. He was certain. He's not a liar, and he's never lied to me about anything before, but it's also just such a bizarre thing to lie about. He was so serious, though. It was so weird. He changed the subject back to my front airbag size, and I just walked out of the bathroom because I needed a breather. When I came back, he was watching Doom Patrol and acting as if nothing happened. I got into bed and tried to sleep. This morning, he was gone when I woke up, and we've spoken a lot less today because I don't know what to say to him. I feel so confused, and everything is just so bizarre right now. I don't understand what happened, and I feel like I'm being crazy. I don't know what to do. I rang him a few hours ago and apologized for everything, and he reassured me and said that we'll sort out my body so I can stop being so paranoid. What? Okay. I wanted to ask about the birthday thing again because it was just so weird, but I didn't know what to say, so I left it alone. Am I just paranoid? What should I do? I feel like I can't trust my own thoughts right now, and I'm just so effing lost. I don't want to lose him. Dang.
Dude, she's down bad, guys.
Imagine being in love with just like an actual like tumor of a person.
Yeah, you need good friends in your life. It feels like you have a lack of support group as well. Because like good friends will tell you to get rid of this guy.
I bet you this guy probably isolated her quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
If you guys recognize that you're in a situation like this, reach out to a friend you're thinking of right now.
Yes.
Just reach out.
Reach out to a friend that you know your partner doesn't want you to talk to. Because I guarantee you they have something to say that will change your mind.
Mm.
That's why they don't want you to talk to that person. Edit. The reaction to this has really blown me away. I'm reading as many of the comments as I can, and I am taking all of your words on board. Thank you to each and every person who has taken the time to give me advice. And sorry if I haven't replied. There's a lot for me to deal with right now, and I'm very emotionally exhausted. I'd also like it if people could stop calling me idiot, stupid, etc. You don't know what it's like to not be able to trust your own thoughts and feelings due to the behavior of a master manipulator, and because of your crazy childhood. We have a fourth update, and it's the final one. All right, here we go. This is going to be the last post I make about this situation. I want to put the whole thing behind me and focus on moving forward now. Yes. But my last post got a lot of responses, so I felt as though I needed to say at least something on the matter. A lot of you have been greatly helpful to me in this time, and I appreciate that more than I can say. To those of you calling me an idiot or saying I was making excuses for him, I wasn't. Evidently, I knew his actions were wrong. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made the post to begin with. I clarified that he was usually very nice to me because he was. He's helped me through panic attacks, paid for a lot of my food when I've had no money, defended me against a previous abuse, and always been very attentive prior to recent incidents. Of course, I knew that his actions in my post were wrong. I was trying to stress that he is not normally like this and that he was not aggressive with me. Girl, it's okay. You can lean into whatever you were going through. This is a man that I felt safe with because he had given me all the reason in the world to feel safe with him. He protected me from a lot and literally came to my aid at 3 a.m. once when I was alone and distraught on some random beach. Of course, he had my complete trust. Anyways, following my last post, I basically avoided him and confided in some of my real-life friends about it.
Good.
Thank you. In doing so, one of them, Daisy, let's call her that, brought me to the realization that I was never that insecure about my body and that my boyfriend had simply been making me feel that way. It sort of feels like a weight has been lifted in that regard, but the realization made me so angry. I rarely get angry. Really, I didn't get that sense. But talking to everyone and reading everything and learning more about gaslighting made me so pissed. Then there was the icing on the cake. 2 of my friends confirmed that he did indeed go to Lucy's party. Yeah, of course. But Lucy hadn't actually wanted him there. Yay! At least, he didn't cheat on you, but not even because I'm just glad that no one wants this guy.
Yeah, he seems like a loser.
She apparently was very aware of his obsession with her and isn't entirely comfortable with it. Great. I guess I'm effing blind. That is true. You have been, but now you see. And now we go forward.
Yep.
With vision.
You got it.
That whole situation was really the final straw for me. So last night when I saw him, I asked him about the party again and whether he went to mine or Lucy's. Again, he said mine. I told him that I'm not an idiot and that our friends could all confirm his whereabouts. He seemed bothered that I had been talking to people about the situation, and he started with the whole, your jealousy is getting really bad. And at that point, I lost my temper. I told him I wasn't jealous. I was just trying to understand why he was lying to me about something so dumb. It wasn't even a good lie. We had a pretty rough argument, and I brought up his constant comments about surgery, and as we argued, little things started dawning on me about other stuff he had previously done. I cried a lot. I kept trying to be calm, but it didn't always work. But yeah, I'll spare you the gory details. I did try to break up with him, but I don't think it sunk in.
Oh, no. Because it's either his way or no way. Oh, no. Oh, no, OP.
Wow.
You got to make it real. You got to make it real. You got it. You got it. You got enough strength. You got it.
Yeah. I think OP is resolute in their decision.
Yes.
OP continues, as far as I'm concerned, we're over. But he doesn't seem to really get it yet. I'm sure he will soon. I've blocked him on everything, and I'm going to keep my distance. But we have a lot of the same friends, so fully cutting him out isn't going to be as easy as I would like. I'm done with this, though. He dominated so much of my life, and I'm still doubting myself so much about everything, but I have a lot of good friends helping me. Thank God. Where have they been?
Where have they been?
Where have they been?
Why have you not went to them earlier?
Oh, God. Apparently, he was weird about Lucy even when he was with his ex. So I think I might talk to her about the situation. And by the way, your situation is that you can listen to full episodes with stories not quite this infuriating, but pretty similar to this on Spotify and iHeartRadio and Apple Podcasts, and really wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
Just got to search the name of our show, OK Storytime.
And boom, you're there. I had hope for OP. I knew she would come to a point. I
Yes.
just didn't know where that point was.
It took, let's see, about 212 pages of reading.
Goodness gracious.
No, but look, and it's okay.
You got it. You made it here.
Whatever you do, your assumption that he's just going to let this go is very wrong. He is going to try to get you he's trying to get you back into his life. He's going to try to worm his way back in, and he's going to try to confuse you again and obfuscate the truth.
He's not going to like hold any respect or honor to you breaking up with him. He's going to be like, oh yeah, you didn't say that.
I bet you he comes to you and he's like, I've thought about it and I've decided we don't have to break up. And she's going to be like, what?
I think we're going to work through this together.
He's like, yeah, I decided we don't actually need to break up. So, I take back what I said. And she'll be like, I was the one who said we're breaking up. He's going to be like, no, silly.
Oh.
Don't you remember it was me? I broke up with you. Wow, this guy's unhinged. I want to keep moving forward. I need to get past this effing fog in my brain that he put there. When we met, he told me he'd lost a sibling in a car crash. Yet no one ever spoke about it, and I thought that was strange. At the time, I thought it was due to grief, but now I think no one spoke about it because it didn't effing happen. I had so much faith in this man, and for a long, long time, he really was my best friend. I already miss him, and it effing sucks, but frankly, I've overcome worse. I'll be fine. No, I think you should go to a therapist.
Yeah.
I think you need to go to a therapist and talk about this relationship and have a professional explain to you exactly how messed up that relationship was. Because even that being like, I've overcome it, I already miss him. Nah, dude. You need to know this man was poison. Thank you for your support. All the messages were very overwhelming, but I read every single one of them and they did help. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and I hope the same thing to you, OP.
All right.
That is the end of that story.
Dude, OP. You did it. You did it. You had that strength
there.
And you did it. And anyone, guys, you're going through this something like this, reach out to a friend. You got it. You got it.
Yes.
And I believe that front airbag surgery should never be a thing. Because you're beautiful the way you are.
Unless it's hurting your back. Get him reduced.
Yeah.
My boyfriend demands I cut contact with his brother because his brother defended me.
What is this, some kind of sick game?
Trigger warning, physical altercation.
Oh, God, it might be.
Boyfriend and I have been together for 2 years. I have known his brother, who I will call Reggie, for most of that time. We've always gotten on well enough. The whole situation started with my 21st birthday party. We had a party at home with 20 or so friends and family. Reggie was, of course, present at the party, along with a few other members of boyfriend's family. By the way, this comes from Punch Drunk Lady, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, the party was going reasonably well. As it started to get later, I started to get a little tipsy, and most of the guests had started to go home. It eventually got down to a wasted little group made up of myself, boyfriend, Reggie, and a couple of my girlfriends. We were sitting outside, and one of my girlfriends decided to get on the trampoline. She managed to execute a pretty cool flip.
Do a flip!
And I expressed that I wished I knew how to do one. My friend talked me into giving it a try. I got up on the tramp, stumbled wastedly, and fell down laughing. Everyone else except for boyfriend was laughing also. It didn't seem like much of an event until boyfriend got up, muttering, "Effing pathetic," in an angry tone, and then told me that we needed to speak in private. She's like, "You can't even do a flip."
That's literally my biggest ick.
I was pretty confused as to what was going on, so I asked him why. And he answered me with, "Just stop being a stupid cow for a second and come to the bedroom."
I read that in Irish in my head.
What?
Because of cow.
Okay. Both of my friends and Reggie looked pretty shocked at this. But before I followed boyfriend to the bedroom, I told him it was fine, and boyfriend was probably just messing around, right? He can have a real temper sometimes. Not good. Particularly after a few drinks, but I didn't think that would be the case in this instance, as literally nothing upsetting had happened. Cut to me and my boyfriend in the bedroom. He shuts the door and starts really going off. He tells me that I'm disgusting idiot, that I was showing off like some kind of pathetic wannabe by messing around on the trampoline. What?
I'm sorry.
What?
She's
What?
She's like drunk, and he's like, Who do you think you are? What do you want everyone to think you're a gymnast or something? What are you, Olympian? You're trying to flip. You're pathetic. Meanwhile, he's cheating on her.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep. That I was an embarrassment to him and that I was to go to bed now. Oh, now he's your parent.
And now it's bedtime.
Not
you're
leave the
taking
room
out.
until morning so that I would be more of an idiot in front of company. As this is going on, he's getting louder and louder and is slamming things around the room.
Oh,
I went to
wow.
leave as I was quite upset at this point, but he blocks the door. So I
Yeah.
sit down on the bed.
This needs to be the last time
Break up, break up, break up.
that you spend time with this guy, and let that be known for everyone hearing
Everyone.
this story.
Reggie is banging on the door and tells boyfriend to open it. Boyfriend goes out in the hall and I can hear him and Reggie arguing. Next thing I know, Reggie comes into the room and says to go with him. I was sobbing like crazy at this point, but because I hate confrontation in general, I just nod and go with him. Reggie makes sure my other friends have left and then we both get into a taxi. I don't know where boyfriend is gone, but he is still in the house somewhere. I'm crying a bunch in the car and don't say much. But Reggie calls his and boyfriend's mother and gives her a brief rundown of what happened. We got to Reggie's place. He lives with a couple and they were really nice. The girl roommate lent me some stuff to sleep in and Reggie told me to take his bed and he would sleep on the couch. I was kind of all over the place, but eventually got some sleep. Next morning, I got up and had coffee with Reggie and one of his roommates. Reggie asked if boyfriend had behaved that way before, and I let him know about boyfriend's temper, but explained that he had never blown up over something as insignificant as me mucking around on a trampoline. OP, there was never any reason for him to blow up in this way. There is no excuse for that.
Well, I mean,
To blow up in this way, there is no excuse for that.
let me brainstorm. So you have a priceless family heirloom passed down for
That OP
hundreds of
breaks?
years, and he confuses it for toilet paper.
What?
Oh, I even said he, so I
Yeah.
immediately swapped to this guy because I just can't see OP doing anything that bad.
Wrong, yeah.
But no, outside of the bounds of ridiculous situations, this is never justified.
Never justified.
Never.
Nope. I asked Reggie if he thought maybe I did or said something that might have upset boyfriend and didn't realize due to being tipsy, but Reggie said no, and that boyfriend's behavior was unacceptable. Good on Reggie.
Unacceptable! I have a better hypothetical. He spits on her mom and then like pushes her into the pool. That's like I would sit him down and be like, no, you don't get to leave. You have to sit here and sit with what you did.
You mean her, if she did.
Or her, but I'm still doing him
Oh, okay.
because she would never do that.
Yeah. I felt silly and embarrassed, especially knowing that Reggie and my friends had heard everything boyfriend had said. And I told Reggie I had better get home and try to sort things out. No.
Oh, no.
I'd be like, girl, you can go anywhere because you're your own person. But you shouldn't go anywhere until we get into your head that you didn't do anything wrong. And
Right.
you should
This
not
isn't
go
a
back to
thing
this
you
guy.
have to fix. This should be a thing he has to fix.
Yeah. Reggie said that he wanted me to stay at his place for just a bit longer to calm down and that he would really prefer that I didn't go home straight away as boyfriend could still be angry. I gave in and hung out there with Reggie and his roommates. We all just played video games and got some takeout, and I ended up feeling much better afterward, so I'm glad I stayed. Early evening, I told Reggie I should really go home. I didn't have any of my clothes, and more importantly, I needed my stuff for university the next day. He drove me over, but didn't really want me to go inside. I told him it would be fine, and promised I would call him if anything happened. He agreed, but said he would wait outside for a few minutes just in case. I got inside, and boyfriend wasn't home, so I told Reggie to go, and went about tidying up from the party. Also, the fact that OP was gone for seems like about a day, and he didn't tidy up.
That's the biggest red flag.
Yeah, it is. Boyfriend eventually rocked up and seemed calm enough. Well, my thing is that if no one tidied up after a day had passed, I feel like he probably is never really doing any of the tidying
Well,
up.
he might not have even been there. I bet you he was probably with
Maybe.
whoever he's cheating on OP with.
That's also true. I told him I thought we needed to have a talk, and he agreed. We sat down on the couch, and I explained to him that I didn't think the way he spoke to me last night was right, and asked for an explanation. There is no explanation. His response was, I'll discuss that with you after you delete Reggie's phone number. You won't be speaking to him again. OP, if someone is ever telling you to cut a person out of your life,
That defends you from their aggression.
that is a sign. He's telling you to cut his own brother out of your life. because his brother recognized that this guy is abusive. I was confused as all heck at this and asked what that had to do with the matter at hand. He told me that Reggie disrespected him by interfering in our relationship and that we were cutting ties with him. We're cutting ties with you, brother. He told me he wouldn't discuss anything else about the night before until I did that. I told boyfriend I thought that was pretty unnecessary and that Reggie had been trying to help me because boyfriend was acting really threatening and that I would have probably done the same in Reggie's shoes. Well, boyfriend did not like that. He yelled, called me some names, and left the house. After a few hours, he sent me a text. I'm sorry for yelling, but you need to respect what I want if you want the same in return. This can't be one-sided. Delete Reggie's number and we'll finish the conversation. Love you. No, you don't.
Hey, stupid.
No, you don't.
That's
not
called
love.
one-sided.
Get out of that relationship, OP, please.
It's called do what I do or we won't have the conversation.
I replied that I needed a little time to think, and I said I would be sleeping in the spare room when he got home and to please leave me some space for a while. I went to bed, heard boyfriend come in very late. He opened the door to the spare room and turned the light on, but as I woke up, he just walked out of the room and slammed the door.
He was probably mad his affair partner wasn't in there.
So this morning, I woke up, boyfriend is at work, and I have a text from Reggie. It says, "Hey, OP, I hope you're okay. Look, what boyfriend did the other night is really not all right, and I think you should get out of there for a while. I've talked to our friends, and the roommates, and it's totally fine for you to crash here until you figure out what you want to do. So that leaves me where I am now. Don't know what to do about the situation. Do as boyfriend asks and cut contact with Reggie, or take Reggie's offer of some space away from boyfriend to clear my head. My worry is that I stay at Reggie's that will destroy any chance of fixing things with boyfriend. Advice very much appreciated. I can't wait for all the comments
So
that we're about to get that say, leave Reggie.
You being unable to fix things with your boyfriend is not a problem.
Yeah.
That's a solution.
There is no fixing this.
There should be no desire to fix this.
Nope. Please leave.
And,
Get out of there.
if anyone ever listens to these stories, us included, and goes, why would anyone ever stay there? You have to look up the cycle of abuse.
Yep.
Because that is why this person is a victim of their own thought loops and their own, and they're being victimized by their partner.
Yep.
So, it's all very complicated.
Who probably has been isolating them from everyone who's ever said, hey, Reggie doesn't seem like a great guy.
Right. And people who are abusers,
Very
they have like
good
a
at it.
radar for people who will like not see through them or who will put up with their crap. They put feelers, whatever. They're insidious people. But it's not on her
No.
being so blind to be able to not be able to see that she needs to leave the situation. And I hope Reggie continues to hammer the point home with her.
And I hope that Reddit does too. But there is an edit. When I was able to come back and check on this post, I was amazed at the enormous amount of comments and messages I received. There's been a lot to catch up on, and I'm reading everything. Thank you to everyone who has given their advice. It has cemented the decision I've already made about getting out. Amazing news. But quite a bit has happened in the last day, so I will be doing an update for anyone who is curious. I will try to get it up in a few hours. Again, thank you to everyone who has commented or messaged me. I'm truly touched by all the helpful and caring responses I received. Update. After Reggie texted me, I replied to him asking if he had known my boyfriend to behave like this with other girls in the past. Over the course of many texts, it came out that he often yelled at and belittled his previous girlfriends in front of others, and some of his friends and family had suspicions about how far he was taking it. After the breakup, the girlfriend posted some stuff on Facebook about how boyfriend had hit her. I don't understand why any of the family wouldn't be immediately being like, hey, OP, just want you to know this is what happened.
Right. Like, I don't understand how people can just rock with folks that are known abusers.
Yeah.
Like,
how could Reggie even be, I would never be involved in someone's life. If I found out that they hit people and were abusive to their partners, I'd be like, bye.
Bye.
Never be having you around me. And did other things like spying on her and deleting people from her phone behind her back. Initially, when this happened, Reggie and his parents questioned boyfriend, and he insisted that the physical abuse accusations were not true and that his ex was saying those things to cover up the fact that she allegedly cheated on him.
which means that he's cheating.
Boyfriend admitted to yelling at her, But he told his family that she did the same and just as often. His family eventually accepted that, but Reggie and his parents were always wary of boyfriend's behavior. And Reggie in particular had made a point to keep an eye on things. Boyfriend's ex apparently had also called Reggie around 6 months after myself, and boyfriend had gotten together and asked him to help me if anything happened. I mean, if someone's ex is reaching out to you and saying like,
Please help this new girl.
Right. What are we doing?
at the time, Reggie was not quite ready to believe boyfriend would physically abuse anyone, but he told her all the same he would watch out for me or any other girl in the future. Reggie told me that after the way he saw boyfriend behave at my party, he became more convinced that boyfriend was likely to get physical, and that was why he chose to step in. He also told me that even if it didn't go that far, I should not put up with how boyfriend treated me. I agreed. What Reggie had told me and all the information and support I received here had me pretty convinced that I was not in a good situation. I decided to go and stay with Reggie and his roommates for a short time. I don't have too many other options for accommodation this urgently. My parents live too far away, and the few friends I could stay with are other girls with enough on their plate, and I didn't want to risk bringing this drama to their doorsteps. In retrospect, I'm glad I chose to go to Reggie's, because I feel like what followed could have been even more frightening and dangerous if only myself and another girl had been present. I didn't have much time to get my stuff together before boyfriend was due to arrive home. So I packed a few bags of essentials and valuables along with my school things, and Reggie picked me up. I left a note at the house for boyfriend saying I was leaving and that I did not plan on returning other than to retrieve the rest of my things. I didn't tell him where I would be staying and that I would rather he didn't contact me directly, suggesting he communicate through his mother instead. I got to Reggie's and got settled in. While choosing to leave was difficult and I had a few bouts of crying, I also felt immensely relieved. Reggie and boyfriend's parents came around and brought some dinner. They were incredibly nice about everything and told me I had to do what was best for me. We always got along well, but I never expected them to be so kind and supportive given the situation. Halfway through dinner, my phone rang. It was boyfriend. I did not want to answer it, and everyone else agreed that was probably a good idea. After my phone rang out, Reggie and boyfriend's mom phone began to ring too. Predictably enough, it was boyfriend calling. His dad answered the phone. The phone was not on speaker, but boyfriend was loud enough that you could hear him yelling down the phone. I couldn't tell exactly what was said, but his dad was telling him to calm down and not to do something. Boyfriend hung up on him, and Reggie and boyfriend's dad told us boyfriend was coming to Reggie's place, saying this was all Reggie's fault. Please, 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 call the police.
Ring, ring.
Ring, ring, police.
Police. I am a psychic. I can predict a crime is going to be committed at my address.
Reggie started to get a bunch of text messages from boyfriend, making threats and telling Reggie that he knew I was there and he was coming to get me.
Dude,
Police, please.
Sophia, that was a reference for you. That was a psych reference.
I liked it.
I could have heard those words to give me some
liked
sweet dopamine.
Sorry, I liked it.
Ah, yes. Thank you.
Reggie replied to him saying that if boyfriend came here and caused trouble, he would be calling the police, but boyfriend ignored him. Call the police. Call the police.
Yeah, no, straight up, like,
Call the police.
hey, abusive boyfriend that I'm leaving is coming to the place where I
Threatened me.
am. Call the police.
Already threatened.
Mm-hmm.
Boyfriend showed up at Reggie's probably 15 minutes later. He drove up the lawn and almost hit the letterbox and got out of his car and started yelling, police. Ring, ring, ring.
I'm sorry. This is a guy who needs to go to jail.
Yep. Reggie and his dad went out while I stayed in the front room with his mom. Boyfriend yelled for a while and was punting at random parts of the garden. Boyfriend started to yell towards the house that he knew I was there and to come out. I wasn't planning on coming out at all, and Reggie told him to leave. Boyfriend ended up running around the side of the house to the back patio entry. The screen door was locked, but the solid back door wasn't. And he started hitting the fly wire, trying to break it. Police!
Why is no one calling the police?
He kept yelling into the house that he knew I was there and that if I didn't come out, he would destroy all my stuff and log on to my school accounts and cause problems on there. Reggie and his dad caught up to boyfriend and started pulling him away from the door. Boyfriend started throwing the old 1-2s, and his mom and I both went out to the inside of the back door because we were worried someone would get hurt. Boyfriend saw me and started trying for the back door again. His mom said she was going to call the police.
Go do that!
If only someone had thought about doing that before he got there.
Boyfriend and Reggie's dad ended up hauling him out to the front yard and told him to leave. Boyfriend did eventually get into the car, spun his wheels, tore up the grass, and drove off.
So what the actual flippity doodah are his parents doing?
I have no idea.
Why are there no this is
I have no idea.
consequences needed territory.
No clue why no one is calling the police.
Like this guy would have been pinned on my front lawn. I don't care if, I don't care that he's my son. He's pinned on the front lawn until the cops get there and arrest him.
Arrest. I feel pretty awful after all that. His mom and dad were both visibly really upset, and Reggie's rental property had been messed up. Police, I'd like to file a police report.
Police, my known abuser is coming to this house to try to get me. Maybe have the cops be here to arrest him.
Thank you. But they were still so nice about everything, though. They really are wonderful people. I spoke to the police, thank God. And they said they would be speaking to boyfriend about what happened, and I got some advice about obtaining a VRO and making sure I could find a way of retrieving my stuff from the house, so that is all okay for the moment. The latest news is that boyfriend has been all over Facebook saying that Reggie and I have been having an affair and posting all these random cropped, blurry corn pictures from the internet saying it was us and that he caught us in the act. None of us are responding to any of it at this point. Haven't really decided what to do there.
That's a fun combo of different felonies that he's committing.
That's also a felony.
Yeah.
Also a felony. My plan is to stay with Reggie for now. It still is my best option. And Reggie has said he won't leave me alone at the house in case boyfriend comes back. Either he or his male roommate would be there. We also spoke to a couple of the neighbors that Reggie is friendly with, and they said they would keep an eye out for his car or call us if they saw anything dodgy.
Why is he not in jail?
Failure of the parents.
By the way, you can keep an eye out for full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But oh my goodness, there's a little bit left of the story. Immediately, call the police back up. Say, hey, I'd like to file a police report for property damage. Look at all this damage.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Hello.
He
did it.
I'd like to file a police report. You threatened me. Here's proof in texts.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, I bet you this guy doesn't sound like the most level-headed, thoughtful, emotionally regulated individual.
He would probably tell the police he did this stuff.
So it's okay. This man needs consequences.
But there is a little bit left to this story. I'm a bit at a loss as to what to do next.
Oh.
I just told you what to do.
I know what to do. You have to buy a net launcher. And next time old Stinky Pants comes sniffing around, you just get him with the net launcher.
That was a good sound effect.
Thank you. Yeah, you just hit him with one of those,
I'm at a bit of a loss as to what to do next. I'm planning to talk to my uni about getting into student housing. I'm planning to go out tomorrow to buy some pepper spray also. I'm tossing up about reaching out to boyfriend's ex, but I'm not sure if that will cause more problems for everyone. So I suppose that's it for now, at least. I'm sorry that this was a bit of a novel, but I know a lot of people wanted an update, and considering how nice everyone has been, I wouldn't want anyone to worry that I had gone back/stayed with him. Rest assured, that is totally out of the question. The more I think about things that happened within our relationship with this new perspective, the more I realized how effed up some of those things were.
Yes! You're getting out of the cycle.
Yay.
Yes. Yay. I love that. I just wanted to make sure I updated so no one was thinking I still stayed with this guy.
Yeah.
I just had to tell you. Yes, good. Good ending.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, so glad that, your boyfriend was so smelly, but Reggie, the brother.
Reggie for the win. We got another story.
My boyfriend refused to get me a Christmas gift, even though I already bought him one.
Oh, man, that's bad, boyfriend.
I, 21 female, have been dating Rob, 23 male, since February, and I thought things were going really well until today. I know it's already ridiculously late to speak about presents, and I wish we discussed this earlier. I just assumed even if we hadn't spoken about giving presents, we would still be exchanging some. Well, today, I brought up that I couldn't wait for Christmas, and I was wondering what my parents were going to get me, and he started going off about how he's so against presents and the idea of gifts.
Yeah, gifts are lame.
Lame.
Yeah, only nerds want presents.
Right. But by the way, this comes from What to Do Now. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit, boys and girls. So I was taken aback and asked, so you're not giving me anything? And he said, nah. He told me he's never bought anything for anyone, so I shouldn't expect to be different.
Sounds like a salt of the earth kind of man.
He's laying it down.
Like I mean, at least he's consistent.
He's telling the truth, I guess. We spoke for a long while about why and such, but it's not important as in the end, he still isn't going to give me anything.
I mean, I think we should know why. I feel like that would help you understand. Like maybe he's like if his why is like, I don't believe in earthly possessions, and I feel that the material things influence my happiness negatively. Like that's kind of like a goated answer. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe that's it. You know, but if there's another one, maybe not.
If he's like, I don't like spending $15 on you.
Yeah, but he'll spend $15 on like a matcha latte. It's like, well, I
And
see where
that's
your
my matcha
priorities
latte.
are. You know, you're trying to boo up this fake coffee instead of booing up with me.
Awesome. Thank you.
I feel personally attacked. I got a matcha this morning. So I feel as if things have changed since this conversation in only a few hours. I feel as if I'm obviously not too important to him if he hasn't gone out of his way to give me even a tiny gift. I made it clear I do like giving and receiving presents, and I told him I'd already bought his, so he said that he would just take his present. Is it wrong of me to not want to give him his present if I won't be receiving one? I think it's a little selfish that he's going to accept his present without giving me anything. Just super quick, I think it's about the emotions being met.
Yeah,
more
I feel
so
like,
than the presence.
What it sounds like is OP is more invested in the relationship than her boyfriend, and she's
This could be
feeling
true.
that through the whole present thing.
Yeah. He's not engaged. He is not responding
He's-
to a want or thing that you
No,
would
I mean
like.
he's not mirroring her energy.
Indeed.
I feel like as soon as you stop mirroring someone's energy and start retreating, like the relationship can be hurt. At least it's not going to grow in more depth.
Very true. But I don't want to break up. But I am wondering how important this relationship is to him. This may sound melodramatic, but I've never been with someone with such odd views on Christmas. What do you guys think? Should I take his present back? Should I give it to him and ask if he'll make an exception and buy me at least a little something? Or should I keep the presents for myself? Also, if things were to go downhill, is this a ridiculous reason to break up? Have you ever met someone with similar opinions? And thanks in advance. But ladies and gentlemen,
How long have they been together?
that's a good question. We know they're 21 and 23. They've been dating since February, so I think it's months and not a year plus.
I think I would. I would talk about it first, obviously. But yeah, I feel like there's a mismatch and it deserves a conversation. And this is probably like the present thing is an embodiment of like a larger issue within the relationship of feeling that there's mismatched energy being put in.
I agree.
Yeah,
You
I
gotta
agree.
listen to your partner. See,
Listen.
can't just shut it down.
No,
Can't just shut it down, ladies and gentlemen.
No, you can't.
But we have an update. Hello. Lots of crap has happened since I wrote this post, and it's been pretty hectic. I decided to keep the gift I got him. It was 2 games for the PS4, and because I like gaming and I don't have those games, I figured I'd keep them for myself. I knew taking them back would be pointless because I'd end up buying something similar anyways, so I opened them as I was feeling way too stressed about this and played them happily. It did cheer me up for a bit, so did calling a few friends. So I decided to speak to him. I went over to his house and I asked him if this meant I'd not be getting presents for my birthday or Valentine's Day either. And he said those holidays were different.
Wait, Valentine's Day is different than Christmas?
He says that birthday and Valentine's Day are different and then Christmas
Bruh.
is not. I wonder if he has like a traumatic Christmas story.
Christmas is so much more a gift giving thing than Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, I feel like you could get away with like a smooch and a flower, but like you can't give a smooch and a flower on Christmas. Like you got to get like a Lego set of like.
Got to be something.
Yeah, it's so true, man. Where's the camera? There it is. So true. So true.
So he said those holidays were different then. Apparently, the only holiday he was against giving gifts on is Christmas.
Maybe he's Jewish.
It could be. But this confused me even more. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as if he's against present giving, shouldn't it be for all holidays and not just one? I asked him if it had to do with religious reasons, and he said no. Good question. He just disliked the idea of Christmas, and that was it. He doesn't stand for Christmas, okay? This guy really is the Grinch. He has been brought up thinking that it wasn't normal to give presents on Christmas. Then I brought up another point that was mentioned a few times in the comments. How come I wasn't an exception, right?
Yeah, I'm special. I'm cool.
You're special. I should be a little bit more important to him, I hope, and therefore he could have bought me something anyways just because I'm his girlfriend and it would have been nice to receive something. He told me he'd never make an exception for anyone because those were his beliefs and anyone who dated him would need to understand and respect that.
Yeah, man hates Christmas.
Dude.
Yes. Yes, Riley.
This is that guy.
This is that guy, but having way less fun.
He's swimming in all 30 of his dollars he saved on the Bath and Body Works gift he would have gotten her.
Also, I'd just like to say that Scrooge would break every bone of his body if he was trying to dive into his money.
That's actually a very good point. Wow.
Dude, don't believe everything you see on TV.
So guess what happened, guys?
What?
We argued for
Classic.
a long time.
How long?
A long time.
That's a long time.
A long.
Wow.
Like, I'm thinking we spent at least 4 hours just sitting in his room discussing why he was so against giving me anything. Also,
4 hours.
4 hours. Also, why was he so all right with me buying something for my birthday and Valentine's, but not Christmas? I would understand if it was for religious reasons, but he clearly stated it had nothing to do with that. He blamed it on his parents, which makes the next part even more interesting. So his mother comes into the room. Okay, mommy just pulled up, said, "What's up?"
Yes, mommy.
What's up, mommy?
Mommy.
What's going on?
Where are my muscle mommies at? Flex your arms in the chat.
Uh-oh. Asking us to come into the living room. I knew they were leaving on the 24th for a small vacation, so I was wondering if this was a small goodbye or maybe even perhaps a scold at us for yelling at each other. The house is big, but I don't doubt that they could hear it a little bit, and then I was speechless. Sitting on the effing dining table are his parents and 6 wrapped gifts. I look at him like, really? You don't celebrate giving presents on Christmas because your parents are against it, but they do? The parents sat us down and gave us each a gift and told us to open it now, and we'd have our own small Christmas just a day before. I opened it, and it was a lovely gift. I thanked them, all while staring down my boyfriend mentally. I was a little annoyed. And then this happens. He starts grinning. Okay. Well, I'm glaring. So he takes out a gift for me. What the F is actually going on? He hands me the gift, and it's a Swarovski necklace looking pretty expensive.
Spendy.
He smiles. The parents leave to give us some space, and I smile back. Still really effing confused. He said it was hard to try and hide his gift while I was yelling at him earlier, but all along he had made an exception for me. All of it was a surprise. He didn't believe in present giving, but still had bought me one anyways just because he thought I deserved it. Very cute. So at this point, he still doesn't believe in giving anyone presents, but he did buy me one. I was immediately really happy and I hugged him. It's a lovely necklace and I apologized over and over again for yelling. We had a really nice time and head back to the bedroom and watch TV, cuddling and having a sweet time. And he then asked for his present. I tell him I've opened them already and kept them for myself, so I'm going to need some time to buy a new one. He suddenly becomes furious. Uh-oh. We're not out of the woods yet, guys. It's going back.
Uh-oh.
I explained he told me that he wasn't going to get me something, so obviously I wasn't going to be giving him one if I wasn't supposed to expect anything back.
Oh,
Obviously.
so OP is like, didn't give me anything,
Yes.
and now is like feeling
A little, a little tit for tat, a little petty revenge
I don't know if I like this.
that she got into. He gets really mad, saying that I should have kept the present for him because in the end he did get me something. But how was I supposed to know that? He begins to scream about how I'm an ungrateful cow
What the
and
heck?
how he shouldn't spend a penny on me.
Dude, this guy's whack.
What?
This guy's whack. Also, cows are like one of the most grateful animals.
His mother comes in, tells him to calm down, and screams at me to leave the house, and he never wants to see me again. I do. Wow. Oh my God. That escalated. Wow. I do. I take the necklace, perhaps a bad move. I explained I will buy him a new gift, a better one, and he's still too angry at me to understand he only needs a day to wait. By the way, you will never have to wait to listen to full episodes of stories like this by searching OK Storytime on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, wherever you get your podcasts, and instantaneously listen to 2,000 episodes that are amazing. I left and came home really effing confused. I tried calling and he hasn't answered. I've been calling since I left the house 3 hours ago. Guys, I don't know what to do. I'm so effing confused, and today has been one heck of a day. Any advice is appreciated. I'm thinking of going back there tomorrow. I'm sorry if this wasn't written in the best way. My head is all over the place. I've also spoken to my best friends, and they're confused as heck. Thanks in advance.
Red flag.
My boyfriend keeps psychoanalyzing every small thing. It's becoming annoying.
Is your boyfriend in Blink 182? All the small things?
Background. A little over a year ago, when we first started dating, my boyfriend said something to the effect of, I'm really good at noticing things about people like that they can't or won't acknowledge themselves. I shrugged it off because whatever. And he's a great boyfriend. We're perfectly happy otherwise, but it started to become a problem. By the way, this comes from throwaway 112112, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. The issue: my boyfriend has been psychoanalyzing me with increasing frequency, and I'm losing my mind.
Really annoying.
He'll assume he knows why I'm feeling a certain way or doing a certain thing, and he tends to treat it like a gotcha situation. Telling him that he's wrong is impossible. For example, we recently watched the new Invisible Man movie together. For those who haven't seen it, the major plot point is that the main character is being tormented by an unseen force and no one believes her. There's this awesome moment of vindication when everyone finally realizes that she was telling the truth, but then they turn around and doubt her about one small detail. As we were watching, I said something to the effect of, wow, that's really obnoxious. She turned out to be right about the first thing. Why would they doubt her about this?
Yeah.
My boyfriend paused the movie, looked at me like a parent who's comforting a 5-year-old who's just fallen off a bike and said, are you frustrated because you can relate? Has there been a time when no one believed you? I pointed out that the movie was meant to frustrate the audience and that my feelings weren't that deep, but he got all sure-jan, so I let it drop. When we first started dating, these remarks didn't bother me. I thought it was sweet. It seemed like he was using these questions as an opportunity to get to know me. But now it just feels very patronizing. Like he's constantly trying to suggest that I'm burdened by some deep trauma. Another example, we were watching some random thing on Netflix last night, and he stepped out for a moment. When he came back in, he tackled me. Not in a particularly aggressive way. He's just an avid cuddler. I expressed annoyance. I said, was that necessary? Because I'm covered in bruises and road rash from a recent accident. And he'd hurt me. Plus, I was eating something, and he knocked it to the floor. He sighed and said, you're just upset because the girl in the movie's getting bullied. You don't have to take it out on me.
What?
Does he just think you're like a super empath? It finally came to a head today. We were walking to the store and I was telling a funny story about my siblings watching Phineas and Ferb. I asked if he'd seen it, to which he responded, no, I stopped watching kid shows when I was 12. I replied that I did too, but that I have younger siblings, and so I know the premise. And also, that's a red flag on him.
Well, it's just like
Why is he limiting himself?
Yeah,
There's tons of great kids shows.
but also that you can know that a thing
Yeah, also
exists
that,
without
too.
watching. So to
Yeah.
immediately be like, actually, I'm better than knowing what that is. It's
Like, I've never
so
seen
you know every episode.
I've never seen
Clearly.
Coco Melon.
I know what Cocomelon is though.
Exactly.
That's little round baby.
He stopped walking and asked in a weird therapist tone, "Do you like kid shows? Is this a form of regression? Is that why you play
A
Pokemon?"
form of regression.
Watching kid shows isn't a form of regression.
Like I would say maybe watching Cocomelon could be a
Yeah,
form
that
of
could be a
regression.
form of regression.
But like watching Adventure Time
It's
is
not a form of regression.
Dude, there's some of the most like emotionally astute
yes
lines
Avatar:
I've
The Last
heard in
Airbender,
anything ever.
literally a show about. There are tons of kids shows.
Which
and
just, that
he's
just
being-
tells me that you're actually super
Yeah.
immature because you can't understand. You're so black and white that it's like
It's like when people see like any animation and they're like, that's a kid's show. It's like, no. I calmly responded that I was starting to get frustrated and asked him to please stop. He put his arm around me comfortingly and in the same tone said, I'm done. It's okay. I pointed out that he wasn't stopping, but he just kept using the same tone to say, it's okay. I ended up shaking his arm off me, turning around and walking back home without him. He came home and insisted that he's just messing around. And he said he's just referencing the study module that we're in. FTR, we're both in medical school and we've just finished our psychiatry rotation. But he's done this for over a year now and it feels very belittling. I'm older than him, just as intelligent as he is, and I've also brought this up before. He knows I hate it. But whenever I express annoyance, he kind of takes on the attitude of, yeah, I know it's uncomfortable to realize hard things about yourself sometimes. Edit, I've seen some confusion here on other social media platforms. We are medical students. We had to do a compulsory 6-week mental health rotation. We also do rotations in various other specialties, surgery, general practice, critical care, etc. Neither of us has a desire to become a psychiatrist. However, I know he's not doing it to be nefarious. It doesn't happen that frequently, just more now that we spend our time at home together. And also, I'm a little hormonal, and we really are genuinely happy in every other regard. So I need to know, what do I do from here? And there are some comments, but what say you?
I think this just comes down to like your boyfriend's cringy
Yeah, and annoying.
and like
And
thinks,
doesn't listen
and
to you?
thinks he knows literally everything about everyone.
It's
Which
very much
is
like the
insufferable.
know-it-all thing.
That's one of my greatest fears. Is
That you're a
that
know-it-all?
I'm a know-it-all, and I really don't want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just talk a lot, and then it comes off like I'm like, but
yeah.
I just don't know when to shut up. There was a comment in here that said something about like no. Look, everything I said about him being like, ew, like it's like it kind of makes it better. It's because if it was like a class they took that day and he's doing a bit that he's like a psychiatrist now, whatever, still annoying. But he's been doing this for a year. He's been doing this for a year, so that's completely irrelevant
It was
now.
a 6-week course. He's been doing it for a year.
I'd be breaking up with this guy.
I would be.
Based
I'd be
on
like,
everything I've
"You're
gone through."
So annoying. Comment 1, as an actual psychologist, I have to say that 1, this isn't how you psychoanalyze people. Annoying your clients would make for a really crappy therapeutic relationship. And 2, don't treat your partner's family or friends like clients. I would spend a moment reflecting on what happens when he does it to you. Why is it so intolerable? Is it because he isn't treating you like a partner? Is it because he isn't respecting your opinions? Is it because he values his opinions over yours? Is it because he deliberately goes against what you say? What is going on that makes it so bad? And tell him that. Because when you tell him to stop or that it's annoying, he obviously is not getting that. This isn't about him triggering you. This is about him being a bad partner. See how he reacts to that. If he won't stop after you explain that, hopefully he will, this feels disrespectful / unpartner-like, etc. And I would say that's a red flag, that his ego hasn't got room for you. As a last resort, and I say this not as a psychologist giving advice, but as a woman who has dealt with men thinking they know everything better than me, if you really don't want to break up, try giving him a taste of his own medicine and using it to encourage some reflection and discussion from him. And if that still doesn't work, maybe that would be enough red flags. Edit to add, this shouldn't be passive aggressive, and I've explained more in another comment below. Some ideas. Why is it that you can't handle me expressing some disappointment with your behavior? Why must you make that about me? Is criticism intolerable for you? It's strange that you want to think of me as a patient. What do you think that says about you, our relationship? Don't you think it's strange that you can't see a perfectly normal reason for my perfectly normal behavior? I wonder why you're always seeing life through an abnormal lens. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. I think you should reflect on why this bothers you so much. Comment 2 says, yeah, I know it's uncomfortable to realize hard things about yourself sometimes. You know what I'd say back to something like that? I think there's a really uncomfortable and hard thing you need to realize about yourself. Your constant belittling comments and penchant for armchair psychology has created a pattern of insidious behavior that is so unbearable to be around. I'm starting to reconsider our relationship. If you don't take it upon yourself to correct these behavioral bad habits, you're not going to have an easy time with things. That makes me think of the Adventure Time. You're constant.
You're ceaseless.
Belittlement of the female gender makes me sick.
You're
Something
constant, but
but it's not belittlement.
your disrespect of the
Constant,
female
yeah.
gender makes me sick.
That's what it makes me think of.
Yeah.
There is an update.
I thought of another fun thing to do, actually,
What?
while you were reading that. So now you just give him more and more increasingly ridiculous breadcrumbs
Yeah.
to psychoanalyze.
Yeah.
Like, maybe make him
you look up all the
convince
signs
him,
of like some sort of mental
Yeah,
health
like-
thing.
drop some hints that you were like raised in the woods in like a cult or something.
Yeah.
Or like, well, I might just be mad because I never saw the sun until I was like 7 years old.
Yeah.
And then he'll like break that apart and you'll go, oh, I don't want to talk about it right now. Like, I don't know. I think in your heart, you should be over this guy at this point, in my opinion.
Long update ahead. Sorry for the delay. It was tricky to coordinate schedules in a way that allowed us to sit down and give the conversation the time it deserved. And I know this might be disappointing for a lot of you who were hoping for a sassy mic drop moment, but our conversation was really level-headed. Basically, I summarized my OP and emphasized how it's annoying that he turns my benign comments into deep introspective interrogations. But more than that, it's incredibly frustrating and inappropriate for him to tell me how I'm feeling / why I'm feeling that way. I raised some of the points and questions that everyone recommended, and even said at one point, it seems like it's really important to you that I feel a certain way about things or identify with something you're saying, to the point where you refuse to accept that I might not actually feel that way. Why do you think that is? After apologizing profusely, he talked about how he, like so many of us, was in a relationship where his partner never really said what she was thinking, and she expected him to read her mind. She'd lie about how she was feeling and then punish him for talking, and then punish him for taking her comments at face value. We talked about why this wasn't great behavior on her part, and I now understand where his habit comes from. But I was clear about how I'm not his ex, and I've never been dishonest about how I feel or what my expectations are. I empathize with him, but I also told him that this is his problem, that this is a problem on his end. And while I'm happy to work through those fears and feelings with him, I will not be punished for her shortcomings. I also ended up throwing in a snarky comment about how psychiatrists call this displacement, redirecting his emotions to a neutral party. He took this with a good humor and a point taken. We talked about his comment from when we first got together, where he said he's good at realizing things about people that they can't or won't acknowledge, and he's embarrassed at how obnoxious it was. He admitted that he can actually have a difficult time reading others' emotions, so he tries to overcompensate. He said he sometimes suspects he might have autism, which some of you suggested, and we talked about how it's 10,000% okay for him to say, I'm having a hard time reading you right now. What are you feeling? Instead of just assuming he knows. We talked about the Netflix cuddle incident. From his side, he came in for a snuggle because I thought I was sad about the movie. So when I asked, was that necessary? He thought I was asking about the cuddle itself and not the food loss / pain of being tackled. So he said, but you're upset because the girl is being bullied. And confused about my annoyed tone, he added, you don't have to take it out on me. He didn't recognize that he'd hurt me. Again, he was horrified and apologetic about this. And when it comes to the Phineas and Ferb Pokemon thing, he fully admits that he was being a complete patronizing a-hole without reason.
Well, yeah, because there's no way for him to explain that. That's one where he couldn't talk his
he's
way
like,
out of it.
"Oh, yeah, I'm the a-hole."
He just had to go, oh, yeah, there's nothing I could say that makes me sound better, so I guess I did just mean that.
He said he's probably projecting and promised to raise it with his therapist.
Yeah.
One last thing I want to address. I know some of you seem to think he's the devil and is always a horrible boyfriend and is going to be a terrible doctor. This is called splitting, believing people are either all good or all bad. This is a joke. Please don't come for me. But that's because I was asking for advice on the one bothersome thing in our relationship. I could have included every awesome thing he does for me / says to me, etc. But my post was already an essay. Please trust that he is an amazing boyfriend and we take great care of each other. As far as what kind of doctor he'll be, I understand why some of you have made that leap. But he's absolutely wonderful with patients, listens empathetically, trusts what they tell him, and picks up on things that the average person wouldn't. I've told this story elsewhere, but I'll tell it here too. We once had the same patient for a long case presentation. She'd had a stroke. So I talked about which artery was likely occluded based on her symptoms. Clinical mumbo jumbo. Thought I was clever for recognizing that she was unrelatedly overdue for a mammogram and included X medication, occupational therapy review as part of my plan. And by the way, it should be your plan to listen to full episodes of stories just like this.
Yeah.
Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search Bokeh Storytime. But there's an easy bit left to the story, so we're going to jump right into it because that was in the middle of the sentence.
Okay.
His report was totally different. He hit the important clinical aspects, but spent much more time than I had talking about the difficulties she'd face at home due to her impaired mobility. He even listed the locations and numbers of stairs in her room in her house. His plan as X medication, occupational therapy review, and talked to charge nurse about scheduling Y conference room for visitors so she doesn't have to miss Bridge Club. I think he'll be fine. And there are some comments, but any final thoughts?
I don't know. I feel like everyone's going to feel like I'm coming after this guy in this story right now. I don't want to be like, well, how long were you dating? Because then that's a sunk cost fallacy. It just feels like it's a great time to move on to maybe someone else who might, I don't know. Because my heart's telling me that that guy was just saying all the right things in that moment, especially because the one example that had no way out because he just said, well, you're just being childish because you like Pokemon. You're regressing. He can't be like, oh, well, I had an aunt who told me like there was no path he could take to talk his way out of that being bad. So he just fully went, oh, yeah, that was just me being an a-hole completely.
I don't know. I think I'm on the hopeful side. I think that a manipulator can kind of talk themselves out of anything, or like, not that people are going to believe them, but they can come up with an excuse for everything. And so I think the fact that he said, yeah, I was an a-hole in that moment.
That's the master manipulator move, actually.
He
knew there was no way to manipulate out of that. So he said, the way I manipulate it is by not manipulating it.
You haven't seen this move.
Absolute cinema.
But there's a little bit more. Comment 1 says, as a person with autism level 1, I find myself probably over psychoanalyzing people in my head because I'm trying to make sense of everything. I make a point of it to never be confident on an assumption and to just ask people how they're feeling, because I've had someone do what your boyfriend did to me and it earned them the flattest expression I could manage. It felt so patronizing and I was angry because it meant to me they had assumed something already and were coaching the answer they thought they knew. None of my psychoanalyzing comes out of my mouth for the same reason, but I can imagine if it hadn't been done to me, I might have had made similar mistakes in that area. Heaven knows I'm good at running my mouth and then wondering why people have crossed their arms, gone quiet, and started backing away. I've actually spent hours and hours watching psychological documentaries and unalive documentaries because they often cover disorders and abnormal behavior versus normal to try and learn more about people. One of my top hobbies is basically people watching. I watch movies by myself, then watch other people watch them to see their reactions. My mom hates it when she catches me peeking at her, LOL. I'm super glad it turned out all right and you two sound like a pretty good couple. I'm super glad it turned out all right and you two sound like a pretty good couple. I've seen a lot of updates go anywhere but well, so the fact that you talked it out and reached a positive outcome is so refreshing to me. Sometimes a little communication can go a long way. Hopefully it's a bad habit that he can be rid of quickly, and the two of you can find an efficient way to communicate your emotions in the future. And that is the end of that story. My girlfriend became way too close to our colleague. They always want alone time.
What are they doing with all that alone time, huh?
Me, male, 21, and my girlfriend, 20, have been together since I was 16 and she was 15, and we have been inseparable since then. By the way, this comes from Citrix, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, we work at the same company and have done so for about 2 years now. We even work in the same section. So lately, she's been getting closer to our colleague, a male, 40, and I have not seen a problem with this since he's 40. But recently, they have wanted to hang out after work separately from me and our other friends. Things they do are just going for a walk, run, or hikes, which normally take around 40 minutes to an hour, which is normal, I guess. But now my girlfriend wants to have a movie night at his house, and they're going to watch the latest Fast and Furious movie. I asked to join, but they need to be alone because they're going to talk about friend stuff. She said they were like best girlfriends. Either this girl is lying to you, or she's being severely taken advantage by this 40-year-old man, and both are not great.
They're just like best girlfriends who make out with each other.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry. The optics of a 40-year-old being best gal pals with the 20-year-old is
Yeah.
At first, I thought, okay, that's fine, I guess, because again, he's 40. See, that's where you're wrong, buddy.
Got opposite logic.
That's where it becomes real creepy.
Hey, but don't worry because it's opposite day. Don't worry. OP just thinks it's opposite day. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's fine.
But now, after the fact, I'm starting to worry that they're getting a little too close. My guy.
Yeah.
I know he's 21, but like when I was 21,
You're not going to go to a 40-year-old's house.
no.
Even if you trust him.
No.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Am I going crazy, or is this something male and female friends do normally? I don't really have any experience in just that because I don't really have any girlfriends that I am that close with except my girlfriend. So please, I need some advice or just outside views on this. Edit, just from the first few comments, I would like to add some details. First, she's acting like normal to me, loving, caring, and overall like the girl I fell in love with. Second, this may seem a little arrogant, but if I may self-glaze a little, I'm 6'4", blonde, fit from going to the gym for 5 years, love cooking, traveling, and hanging with friends and family. He's 5'8", bald, not really fat, but on the more out of shape side, and's kind of a gamer.
Get him.
So he's like a jock or something? He's like, oh yeah, he's a nerd.
He's a freaking nerd.
I guess, and I mean computer games. So he only has a handful of friends and the same at work. I do not say this to bully him or belittle him in any way. It's just straight facts. Third, my girlfriend said that after meeting some of his friends at a local get-together, she said it felt weird being so much younger than everyone at that specific table that she just kept it short when she said hi to them. Final reason, if you put all of this together, I can't see any reason why I should have been suspicious earlier. And there is an update. Again, there's a huge chance that she's probably lying. But if she is telling the complete truth and she is not, at all interested in this guy and she really sees him as a friend, that is not how he sees her.
Yep.
There is a 99% chance that this man is being predatory toward this 20-year-old girl by inviting her over when she is his coworker to watch movies alone together.
This kind of feels like his mindset towards this kind of feels like when guys don't when guys like ask women like, why don't you travel alone? Like you should just travel alone.
You guys should, you should totally walk at night.
Yeah.
It's so like, peaceful.
It's like no. And so it like the fact that he's just like, I don't think there was any reason not to trust him until now.
Like, what?
It's like,
it's like so out of the.
Yeah, like you should have at least been worried this entire time, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah.
Update. Thanks for all the comments and DMs. There is no way I can answer all of them, so I will try to make an update now as I feel almost responsible to do it for the big response from the community. She actually went through with it. The movie?
I'm guessing. Yeah.
Okay. Earlier
the
today.
2X is starting. Just want to make that very clear.
Stop making it clear.
He got 53 seconds on the clock.
Where's the torpedo me? I'm gonna throw my torpedo at you.
Earlier today, we sat down to discuss just how I felt about this whole thing. It is weird for her to go alone home to him as he is effing 40. Yeah. I was very clear about my opinion about being excluded from this whole thing and that it is not all right for me to feel like I am third wheeling my own relationship. Her answer, I did not take you for such an insecure man after 5 years together. Girl, she's so, oh my God. Honestly, this kind of broke me. How is it okay for her to just set my feelings aside with a comment like that? I must admit, I am absolutely not the best with expressing my feelings in this kind of way, and it feels very uncomfortable for me to open up like that to someone, even if we have been together for years. And I can kind of see why when that was her response. After that one little comment, it really sank in that she actually doesn't care about me anymore. The rest of the conversation went downhill from there on. I started to accuse her of cheating. She started throwing an effing fit about how dare I accuse her of things like that after 5 years together. How I didn't trust her. After about 20 minutes of this, I was honestly broken down. So I just walked out. Didn't say anything, just walked. I was out for about 30 minutes just to try and clear my head from this whole conversation. When I came back, she was waiting for me with just one question. Do you think I've cheated on you? I said, yes, I really do. And then I did something stupid. I showed her my first post to get my point across even more. That the things I'm feeling and thinking about are the all-around opinion in the comments. She was stunned and silent for a bit. And I think she actually kind of saw why I felt the way I did. Her response after that, I must go. Her response was, I must go.
I must go.
I must go. The 40-year-old is waiting to start the movie, and I think we should have a small break from each other.
You're referring to him as the 4 Well,
Yeah,
that
I
might have
think
been,
that's just OP.
paraphrase, yeah.
I'm sorry. She went on a break with you right before going to see this 40-year-old man that she's hanging out alone with.
You heard that right.
That's
Got that right.
I
don't like it. I don't like it.
One day she is going to realize when she is older what is going on. But she definitely doesn't realize it now.
Oh, gross.
She effing went to him after our fight. Or what did I do? I went to my father at his work and actually cried in his arms for the first time in probably 15 years. And now I'm at home in bed and have talked to my landlord. She's very understanding and said that I can take my name off the lease anytime I want. What now? I'm in my bed feeling totally empty, numb, sick, furious. And to be honest, I went kind of off the hook when I came back from my dad. I threw some crap on the floor, actually cut the networking cable in the wall as she is maintaining a blog that she's very passionate about. I won't link it, so don't even ask, as I don't want to give that POS more activity on it. This update went probably just the way people expected it to go. So I hope people are happy. My relationship is probably 100% over to spare me in the future. But please, how can I come out on top of this? I have to see both of them on Monday when we get to work. I don't think I can handle this, so please, advice is more than welcome. Is he in a position of power here?
In the workplace?
Yeah.
Because they are coworkers.
Is he in a position of power, or are you guys kind of like the same vibe?
I mean, if he's 40 and she's 20, 21.
If he's in a position of power,
even grosser.
I'd walk over to HR.
Yeah.
And say, hey,
yeah,
I thought you guys should know this is going on. I might do another update later on if I can mentally go through this again. As for now, I literally can't handle it. I am mentally breaking down as I am writing this. Edit. I am now done with my first day of job after the incident and how things played out this weekend. I think I will start looking for a new job. So keep looking out for part 3 of this crap show. And there is a second update, folks.
Wow.
Any thoughts before we get into it?
It kind of, even if like there wasn't anything going on between them, we know it's creepy, we know it's that. It just sucks that she's not like willing to fight for the relationship. She's just kind of like, oh, you're just like suddenly insecure. Okay, bye.
Yeah, I mean, she's 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, obviously doesn't excuse it, but like, very much like 20-year-old behavior. She's like, man, I don't care.
Yeah, but they've been together for 5 years though. You know, I mean, I guess at 20,
5 years,
starting at 15,
you know,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, again,
She's
does
probably
not
ready to get out of
excuse
there.
it, but like this girl, like clearly
Yeah.
does not care about this relationship
Yeah,
at all.
which just is like
Yeah.
what sucks, though.
Yeah.
It sucks that he's
No, it
like, well,
sucks.
what the heck? What's
yeah,
going
it's probably
on?
like his first love. This
Yeah.
is someone that he really cares about.
Yeah, and she's just like, okay, bye.
Bye.
You're being
I'm
weird.
going into this 40-year-old.
Yeah.
No, I knew a lot of girls in like, or not a lot, but like I knew a couple girls in college who like would go out on dates with these like 40-year-old men at 18. I'm like,
Ugh.
what's going on?
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary stuff.
Why are these 40-year-old men looking at? That's weird.
Yeah. No.
And there is an update. Holy crap! Thank you for the overwhelming response on my little situation, if you can call it that. There is no way in heck that I will be able to answer even the minority of the comments and DMs, so I will do my best to update you guys, as I really do think I almost owe it to you after the incredible response. Well, where should I begin? When I look back on my personal response to this, it was really childish for me to start breaking stuff and cutting wires like I was throwing a tantrum, which I probably was. I have set out to replace the stuff that was ours, and the stuff that was mine doesn't really matter, and the internet wire will be fixed tomorrow. This has shown a whole new side of me that I didn't know existed. But honestly, can you really blame me too hard for this? This has been hands down the worst weekend in my life, and I was actually surprised that I didn't really see any comment calling me out on my BS behavior. Now on to the rest of this. I left off when I was laying in bed and typing out what happened on Friday. The rest of that Friday, I did just that. I stayed in bed for the rest of the night and could not sleep as I was just thinking about all our memories and that we will never create new ones. As well as I was thinking way too much about what they probably were doing in another bed. Ugh.
Oh, but you can't do that to
Don't
yourself.
think
You
about
can't do
that.
that.
Don't
That's
think
like the
about
worst
that.
part of the breakup. You can't do that to yourself. Ugh.
On Saturday, I made a big mistake. I started to drink. That led me to go to a party, and honestly, I should have not done that because I was wasted calling my now ex and asked one last time if it really was over for us. And indeed, she said yes. This is why you should not drink after something like this, because unlucky for me, one of her closer friends was at that party and one thing led to another and we ended up in bed together. I did this only to make my ex mad.
Of course. Of course.
Ooh. Yeah, buddy,
Yeah.
that's
Oh, man.
rough. That's rough. You can't imagine my regret on Sunday. I have never done anything like this before and will never do it again. Oh, and I said as much to the friend and apologized profusely for using her for this. She said it was okay and understood, but you can see it hurt her more than she said. I feel like the biggest a-hole in the world, and I can't even imagine how she feels. I really deserve all the crap coming my way from you guys for this. After all that, I also felt as if I cheated on my ex for doing this. I can't explain why, I just did. Probably because I had spicy sleep with someone else the day after we broke up a 5-year relationship. The rest of Sunday, I was dwelling on what I just did and absolutely despising that it is Monday tomorrow, and I'm actually feeling sick to just go to work. Monday, today, came, and it started probably the worst way possible. My ex and our colleague came to work in the same car.
Wait, our colleague. So OP worked with them too?
They all work together.
Oh,
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah,
I thought it was
yeah.
just the girlfriend.
They all
But-
work together.
Working
Yeah, you're
now.
good.
I'm here.
And when I tell you it felt like the burning coal in my stomach became an absolutely all-developing black hole, I can't describe it better than that, but being a man, I guess I just tried to ignore it. I must not have been so convincing because she came right over to me and said that it's not what it looks like. He actually had just picked her up at our house. I have slept at my dad's house from Sunday to Monday. This did not make me feel any better whatsoever because how can I believe that? But I did also apologize for my behavior from Friday and that I had acted childish and immature. She said it was okay and that it was understandable why I did what I did. Then after that, the rest of the day got even worse, if you can believe that. Somehow the word of our breakup had already spread like wildfire
There you go.
at work. And to my delight, apparently it was almost like an open secret that my ex and our colleague had hooked up at least once before on a business party.
Once before they broke up? Or just in general? Oh, wow.
They freaking cheated.
Of course. Of course.
Oh my God. I can't imagine that being an open secret and me not like
All your coworkers knowing?
40-year-old and a 20-year-old. Like, this man should be ostracized.
Oh, yeah.
If he cannot be, freaking written up, like ostracized.
Yeah.
That was it for me today. I called it, went to my boss, told him I was sick, and went home. A couple of hours later, I'm just sitting here trying to eat. It's not going so well. And just thinking about how my colleagues at work could hold such a secret from me. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're disgusting.
Absolutely.
And I can't even imagine continuing to work here anymore. So I'm also sitting and looking for new work as we speak. As it stands right now, I have taken my name off the house lease and will start to pack my stuff tomorrow to move out and move in with my father. In the meantime, while I find a new place. But you should find a place with us, because you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search a Poke Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story.
Mm-hmm.
Any final thoughts?
My final thoughts are gross.
Gross.
And then ew.
Gross.
And then yuck.
Yuck.
I don't like it. I don't like it. Everyone is being is ignoring the problem here.
Very much.
And
so.
it's like, why? What's going on?
Yeah.
No?
I wonder if it's like a bunch of like older men who are keeping a secret, you know?
Yeah.
No.
No.
But folks, there's a little bit left to the story. As with the last post, I do really appreciate some advice, and this time I will try to be more active when it comes to the comments and DMs. I'm also tired of hearing, you're young, you'll find someone new. My problem is I don't really want anyone else. So what do people think about my current situation? The definition of a crap show. Edit. I've gotten tons of messages that said I was unbelievably childish about all my decisions. And I know I was. Just calling me out for being childish is one thing, but please leave some advice or something at least so I can take it as some sort of helpful criticism.
My boyfriend always prioritizes his best friend. I think he likes her more than me.
Maybe he wants to be her boyfriend.
I've been with my boyfriend, Bob, for 1.5 years. He has had this female friend, Jane, for, I believe, about 10 years now. She is married. He helped her get a job where he works, so now they work together. I've met and hung out with Jane both in group settings and one-on-one many times, and I genuinely like her as a person. I even consider her a friend.
Aw.
By the way, this comes from user MoodyJudy710, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, part of my issue is that Bob has Jane up on a pedestal. I thought it was maybe a bit over the top how he was always singing her praises when we first started dating, and had mentioned to him that he was maybe a bit too attached to Jane, and it was concerning. Did he have feelings for her beyond friendship? He stated that he only did that because he really wanted me to like her and be her friend. Well, I do, and I am, so that's cool. Maybe for all he talked her up, it worked. I'll admit that I do have a tendency to be jealous. I consider it a character flaw, and I try not to be. I try to be objective, but sometimes I can't deny what I'm feeling when it rears its ugly head, and other times I feel like maybe I may actually be warranted in my jealousy a bit. It's hard to say, and I really have no doubt that Reddit will tell me I'm a jealous witch and need to calm the heck down if that's the case. So, what has been occurring is that my boyfriend and his friend Jane constantly have discussions about pretty much everything. I get that they're friends and they work together, but I mean they talk about everything. When I see her or talk to her, it feels like the response to everything I say is, "Oh, I know, Bob told me." She knows details about conversations we had. She knows everything we do. I find out things that happened to him from her that I had no clue about. When I told him that sucks, that he shares things about his day or his thoughts with her and not me, Bob said that when he thinks things, he says them, and she happens to be there. When he sees me after work, it's not on his mind, so that's why he doesn't share with me like that.
He's like, I already got all the thoughts out.
So, recently, Bob had a huge, innovative idea. He's a very intelligent man, and that was one of the first things that attracted me to him. Oh, so that wasn't ironic. I thought that was sarcastic. Let's go. He came home from work and was very excited about his idea. I was in the kitchen cleaning and started to prep dinner, and I pushed that aside, slid myself up to the counter to face him, and let him spill his big idea to me. I thought it was great. I laughed at his excitement. I can't say I've ever seen him this excited. We discussed a bit, and he said he wanted to have a group discussion with some people he thought would be good to help launch this idea, and asked if I would want to be included. I said, of course I would, and that I would hope that I would be the first person he'd come to with big things like this. that will affect our life. I asked if he wanted me to be included, and he said, of course he did. Now, he has launched this group discussion with me included and started the topic, and I can't help but notice that every single response from Jane references the discussions they've had about this already, the ideas they've had about this, the thoughts they've thrown around about this.
About what?
All of these things he didn't mention to me, but talked to her at length about, and that hurts. I asked him why he didn't share any of that with me. Why do I get the summary after he's had lengthy discussions with Jane about it? Why am I the afterthought? Does he not think I'm intelligent enough or interesting enough to have these kinds of conversations with? Am I just the girlfriend that puts out and she's who he goes to for the stimulating conversation? He immediately went on the defensive, and I admit maybe my approach was pretty crappy. I was going to say, of course he went on the defensive. You just attacked him.
Yeah.
I didn't actually get answers to any of my questions, but did get told that I didn't show enough interest. That when he tried to talk to me, I, quote, ignored him, to which I said that was BS. I stopped everything I was doing and sat up on the counter facing him so I would stop cooking and cleaning. I have a habit of multitasking and have to sit down out of reach of things to focus on a conversation. I acknowledge this trait about myself, which was why I made a point to plant my butt on the counter and talk. So he told me, I'm just jealous of Jane, which is why I have a problem with this. Well, let me have it, Reddit. Am I being unreasonable and jealous, or do I have a right to want my boyfriend to use me as his sounding board and not be the afterthought that just gets the summary? And there is an update. So, following the original post, I had a conversation with Bob regarding my feelings about him going to Jane all the time and not me, with all of his non-work related thoughts and ideas. While he isn't a Redditor himself, I decided to share the post with him as the replies were mixed and helpful, and I thought we needed to have a fair discussion about how we could both have handled things differently. He agreed with the scenario as I had described it, which is good, because I'm not trying to paint a one-sided picture, as that wouldn't help either of us. Since we talked it out, he has made a point to share more with me, so I don't have to hear about it from Jane first. And I understand that she is there during the day, and he can and does talk to her about more than just work. That's cool with me because he shares things with me as well now. All that being said, I am still jealous of what they have, and he does and says things to make that jealousy come out, and I hate it. I hate feeling like that, and I hate that he provokes it. I need to provide further backstory and details on this to accurately share what triggers my jealousy. In my last post, I had mentioned how he had her up on a pedestal and was always singing her praises. He stated that was because he wanted me to like her and for us to become friends. Well, that aspect of things has really never changed. She can do no wrong, so the excuse previously used just doesn't fit the scenario any longer. He really just thinks the world of this girl and will defend her to the point of hurting me and not caring at all. After dating long distance for a while, we decided to move in together. We talked about who would move, and ultimately it ended up being me. Last October, I left my family, friends, my job, and moved halfway across the country in the U.S. to be with him. I believed in us enough to make that leap, and besides this one issue, which is Jane, everything is great. I found a better job here. We got a puppy who's 6 months old now. I love the area. I love him. I hate his attachment to her. Our first big fight occurred last Christmas. We went to a party that consisted of all of his friends in the area. I knew nobody besides him, and a previous brief meeting with Jane and her husband. I am introverted, and while I do fine outwardly in social settings, I tend to be uncomfortable and anxious about them beforehand. This was my first exposure to all his friends in a group after moving out here last year, and I was freaking nervous, as would be like 95% of people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'd be nervous. Would you be nervous?
I'd be nervous.
Keon, would you be nervous?
Always.
Yeah, it's very common.
Keon be nervous.
It went okay until for some reason Jane decided it would be fun to make me the butt of every joke.
And now I wanted to see how they interacted together. And now
I can take a joke. I'm okay with giving and getting a little crap, but this went on for the better part of the night, to the point that her husband even made a comment about how it was going too far and I would never want to come back. I laughed it off at first, and then as it kept going, I just shut up and didn't respond either way. I was in a new state, surrounded by a group of people I don't know who were all longtime friends in an uncomfortable scenario, and I wasn't going to cause a scene or make waves. I think you should have, though. But again, it's, not everyone can,
I mean, it's hard.
not everyone
It's hard
can
in those
rib
scenarios.
back. Like, that's what I would have done. I would have
Especially
just
with new
ribbed her right
people.
back, but,
Yeah.
we're all different. So
All different.
my boyfriend was laughing it up like she was the funniest person in the world, which I'm sure just egged her on. When we left, I told him that he should have stuck up for me just before bursting into tears from being hurt and humiliated, far from home at the holidays, and he didn't care at all.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah. Bad now.
Okay, so his response was not to acknowledge that I was put in a crappy situation, but to immediately defend Jane. She was just joking. Stop being so sensitive.
I hate that.
You could have spoken up. This ultimately led to our first fight about how she does something crappy. I'm hurt, and he defends her. This was not the first or even the most recent time he had defended her. If anything even remotely negative or even neutral is said about her, he becomes her white knight and will always defend her and paint her actions in a positive light. I have yet to see him defend me even once. Fast forward to today, and she makes a post asking for advice on running. I recall when I first met her, she found out I was a runner and made commentary belittling it. Why would anyone run? She's perfectly fine walking. And then she said she could never run anyways because of her knees. I commented out loud to him about the contradiction that last year she talked down to me for running, and she said she could never because of her knees. Now she's posting about taking up running. Did she get new knees?
Okay, that's... Yeah. I feel like that one's not as...
Right.
crazy.
He immediately started defending her, asking me why I cared, saying she was doing something good for herself, and why am I so negative? I told him she belittled me for running. She said she could never because of her knees, and then contradicted that a year later, and I'm not allowed to mention it. He said people can change their minds. I asked when she got new knees. This turned into a fight where he told me I'm so effing jealous of her. I said F you and to stop defending her to the point of fighting with me. He told me I'm effing crazy many times because of my jealousy and that he doesn't get jealous. I told him to go F himself. I'm not crazy, thank you very much. Jealous? Yep. And he does plenty to instigate that. Again, I've really yet to see a moment of jealousy being instigated by Bob here. Bob came back for round 2 and told me I have effed up double standards. The reason, just before I moved out here, my best friend's boyfriend told me he wanted to sleep with me. I was so afraid that it would cause a rift in my friendship. Being an introvert, I don't have many friends. I decided to talk to her, and it turns out they have an open relationship, and she was mad at him for not letting her talk to me first about his feelings. He had told her how he felt about me. I told my boyfriend, and he told me all the things I should say to him. I didn't. I declined the offer when propositioned, told him I loved Bob, and cut all contact and never spoke with him again. My best friend was just out here visiting for a week. When dropping her at the airport, I told her she's welcome at our home anytime. She mentioned that her and her boyfriend would love to come out together sometime. I didn't agree or acknowledge her including him. I wasn't going to ruin our goodbye with that. I told her it was great to see her and to have a safe flight. When I got home from the airport, I told my boyfriend what she said and asked what he thought. Obviously, he isn't comfortable with it. My heart was heavy that she included him because if he is part of it, I won't get to see her again. I brought it up not because I want him here, but because I want to see her. Also because I don't want to keep anything back from Bob. So he brought this up today saying I have double standards because I asked if the guy who wants to F me can come stay at our house. I told him that the one time he ever felt jealous from another guy, when I did absolutely nothing to instigate it, I immediately cut contact just before I moved halfway across the country and never spoke to him again. How is that scenario even close? He said because I asked if he could stay over, which I told him I didn't. I told him what my best friend had said and asked his thoughts because I want to see her again, not him. I have no male friends around here anyway for him to be jealous of, so it's very easy for him to say he doesn't get jealous like I do. If the roles were reversed, I'm sure he would be. He gets jealous of the dog if I tell him I love him too much. He's admitted that he is jealous of how much I dote on him, which I told him was silly. He's a puppy. It's not even remotely the same. Again,
weird.
I'm really feeling like that was like a bit that is
We
being
don't know.
misinterpreted.
We don't know.
And it's true, we don't
But
know.
also, if they're constantly misinterpreting each other, also maybe not the best relationship.
I do make an effort to cut out some of my doting on the pup now
What?
when he's home, so he doesn't feel like the dog took his place, which
Okay.
again is just silly to me. But if that's how he feels, I'm not going to dismiss it and keep doing it. I
I'm
don't
sorry.
think that's how he feels.
But if that is how he feels, that's a problem.
True. If you're jealous of a puppy, you can't date.
Yeah, you're not ready. Like, Bob's not ready to date if that's his issue.
But I don't think he is.
But well, we don't know. I can only go off of what OP says.
I'm putting it on the table.
Yeah.
OP, a lot of stuff is just going, which is fair. Doesn't mean she's not intelligent. It's just some people think in a very type A way while others do not. And this seems like a lot of misunderstandings. But you'll never misunderstand that there are full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on iHeartRadio, on any platform you listen to podcasts. Just search OK Storytime.
Do it.
Sorry, this is long-winded. I guess I don't know what to do. I'm tired of playing second fiddle to Jane. I hate that he defends her to the point of insulting and hurting me. I feel like he just is disappointed that she is married and he had to settle for me, the crazy jealous one.
And if this is what you're thinking, then don't
Right.
stay with him.
How do I even bring this up again? Or do I just cut my losses and acknowledge I will never be her and leave? What we have is great until she enters the picture and she can do no wrong. And that is the end of that story.
My mother-in-law hates me, so I'm planning to confront her.
Oh yeah, you do that, girl.
My boyfriend's mom, now referred to as mother-in-law, is one of those people who is incapable of thinking about other people. I've heard of them. She has hated me from day one for the sole reason that I am her son's girlfriend. By the way, this comes from Vast Self 1149, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, she has made comments from day one, but they have been really getting worse in the past few months, to the point that my boyfriend is preparing to go low contact with her within the month after we graduate college, and will probably end up no contact. Oof. Here's a list of her behavior just in the past 6 months. Went on a 15-minute rant about what a terrible pet owner I am just because I have pets while still in school. I am studying to be a zookeeper.
It's a good dream.
It's
a good dream.
I am studying to be a zookeeper. My pets get the highest quality care. She only stopped because my boyfriend told her to leave. Went on a 3-hour lecture about everything that is wrong with me. We should have stood up for ourselves, but we were both honestly stunned into silence. Told me that I don't take responsibility because I'm a Capricorn. His mom told...
Dude, they literally knew that we were talking about horoscopes.
What?
And
His
judging.
mom told you that her critique was that you were a Capricorn? Said that if I talk to a man besides my boyfriend, that means I'm cheating on him. The same did not apply to him when I asked if that goes both ways in her mind. Got mad because I told her that I have a good relationship with my parents.
Great.
Gave me a Coach handbag for Christmas when I asked for a pet store gift card. I don't use handbags and I'm not a fan of designer stuff. Asked for a Louis Vuitton Stanley Cup when I asked her what she wanted for Christmas. I'm a broke college student. I'm not spending that kind of money on anyone, especially her. You should sell the purse that she gave you.
There you go.
And then buy her cup.
You're a knockoff.
Yeah.
She'll never know.
Continuously telling my boyfriend he shouldn't settle for me because I'm too fat. I'm a healthy weight, and even if I wasn't, that's unbelievably rude.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it is.
Got mad that I wouldn't give her and her family all of my grad ceremony tickets because I wanted my family to come. We only get 5 tickets each. My parents aren't going to my boyfriend's ceremony either. Sent my boyfriend's car to the mechanic while we were on a cruise, so we had no way to return to school. So she got to drive us and then got pissed when we refused to spend the rest of the day with her because we had other plans. Spent an hour screaming at my boyfriend when I dropped him off to pick up his car because I didn't come in to say hi, which we agreed beforehand I wouldn't do because she'd get mad no matter what.
Well, you were right about that one.
Told my boyfriend I was raised poorly and she was a way better mother. She hates that my boyfriend and I have a good relationship with my family. My boyfriend and I have been working on setting boundaries, and after their last talk, he basically told her to leave him alone, and and he'll reach out when he's ready. She hasn't been respecting it and still texts multiple times a day, but has backed off calling. My boyfriend and I agreed it would be good to have one last talk before graduation to try to avoid a blow up on the day before. I drafted a text and had him send it in a group chat with her. Her response was that she was so proud of us for taking steps to make things right. I told my boyfriend if she raises her voice at me one more time or makes one rude comment, I'm ending the conversation. And that would be the last she sees of me besides graduation for a very long time. The talk is in 2 days. Wish me luck. And there is an update. Do you have any thoughts on this story?
I just, oh my gosh, and ew, and gross. Don't talk to me and my son.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Right
just
over
wondering
there.
what your partner is doing in all of this. It does seem like you guys are
Yeah.
quite young, so
I'm
it might
curious,
be
though.
hard for him to kind of stand up to his mom.
Mm-hmm.
But really not cool that you have to deal with all of this, verbal nonsense.
Yeah. It might
don't
be
like
one of the things that you just have to be like, what? What are you talking about? And then just like ignore it, let her yap.
Every time she talks to you, you go, "What are you even saying? Who are
Wait a minute.
This is the
you?"
perfect time you bust out the Willy Wonka. You hit him with the what, mumble? You can't keep mumbling at me. I don't know what you're saying.
I don't
just
know what you're talking about. Update. Hey guys. After my last post, I was asked for an update, so here it is. I figured I should give a little background first, though. My boyfriend and I are 22 years old. We met 4 years ago at the beginning of college. We were friends for a year and then started dating. We have now been together for 3 years, and it is serious. Yeah, I mean, 3-year relationship, pretty big deal.
Yeah, totally.
He is moving to my home state with me in a few weeks, and we are planning on getting engaged within the year. Wow.
Oh, wow.
I mean, 3 years post-college, yeah, makes
I
sense.
guess so, yeah.
Okay, on to the update. We had our phone call last night with his mom, and it went pretty much as expected. It started with me telling her I got a job in my home state. Boyfriend is still looking for a job, so she was mad I got a job first. Dude, she'd be mad if you didn't have a job. She'd be like, oh, you're not doing anything. You're not taking responsibility.
Yeah.
And she's mad that you do have a job.
Yeah, I
You
think
can't win.
This woman has not heard of any other emotion. She's just always
anger.
mad and
Yeah.
likes it that way.
Yeah. And boyfriend told her he was going to move with me. She tried every phrasing to say he shouldn't go with me without coming out and saying it. I raised you to be independent. You're young and have your whole life ahead of you. Don't settle, etc. Then I told her that the reason I wanted to have this chat was because the last time she spoke to her son, she was upset because of something I did. And I would like her to tell me why she was upset so we could talk it through. She went right into manipulator mode, refusing to talk to me about it. She just kept repeating, think about it. What did you do that is so disrespectful to the mother of your boyfriend? I know why she's mad. She didn't like that my boyfriend told me not to come inside with him when I dropped him off to pick up his car. I told her that I'm not playing mind games, and she can tell me why she's upset. That pissed her off. And she kept repeating, you should know. Think about it. Is this a riddle?
I hate that response.
Yeah.
I
You
always
just
have.
know. Just freaking tell me.
You know what you did. It's like,
No, I
well, what if I
don't.
don't? Can you freaking believe me?
Can
you
what if I
freaking
have
believe
no
me?
idea what you're talking about?
I don't know.
I refused to take that BS. From there, the conversation shifted into my eating habits. For context, I'm a picky eater, but I'm really polite about it. I do not have an eating disorder. My doctor knows all about my picky eating, and no one is concerned. But she is. She asked me if I had an eating disorder, and when I said no, she didn't believe me.
You don't just ask people that.
Oh,
You can't just be like,
man.
hey, like,
You got one of those eating disorders?
like, yeah, I'm not gonna take no for an answer here.
So she asked my boyfriend many times, and he gave her the same answer. So she called my mom and asked her.
Oh my god, what's the point of asking if you just won't believe it?
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to keep asking around until I get a yes.
Yeah.
During this conversation, she claimed that my picky eating is disrespectful to her, and I shut that down fast. I told her that it's none of her business. Yeah, if we're going to talk about respect,
Yeah.
let's talk about you. And she can't call my parents every time she doesn't like something I say. She kept repeating things like, I'm sorry you have such perfect parents and I suck.
Oh my God.
I had to raise these boys all by myself.
Oh my God.
My boyfriend's dad is not in the picture, but my boyfriend was raised by his mom and his grandma who lives with them. His mom has never lived alone in her life. Her mom has always lived with her. I told her I'm not insulting her parenting skills and my parents aren't perfect and she needs to knock it off. There were a few more points she tried to make that I kept shutting down, but that's the main gist. There were a few times she outright lied and then fake cried when I called her out on them. I know it was fake because they disappeared when she found a new reason to hate on me. At one point, I told her I think she just doesn't like me and looks for reasons to hate me. And her response was, I don't know you enough to say I don't like you, but what I do know about you, I don't like. That's so funny. What? Wait, I'm going to read that again, guys. I don't know you enough to say I don't like you, but what I do know about you, I don't like.
Like, I can't say that I don't like you as a whole, but I certainly don't like the little pieces of
I
you.
don't like the little pieces I do know.
Oh my gosh.
I left the conversation when she told me, at the end of the day, you're the child and I'm the adult. So what I say goes. You're not my mom.
For real. Also,
You
she
can't
is an adult.
Yeah, also, one. Okay, well, which I'm 22. Shut the F up. I told her I'm done and walked away, but my boyfriend stayed. Later, he told me that she didn't even notice I left for a while. She was so busy continuing to yell at me. I don't know everything that went down after I walked away, but my boyfriend seems content. He told me that she said she didn't want him to be in a position where he had to choose between us. And he said, good, because I'll choose OP every time. She hated that. Freaking mic drop moment. But you know what else is a mic drop moment?
What, Sophia?
Listening to full episodes of stories just like this, just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. And there is a little bit left to the story, but do you have any final thoughts?
I think that in this situation, you just have to laugh. You just gotta not
You just
take it
gotta
to
go,
heart.
ha ha.
It's like, there she goes again, being such a silly Billy.
You should be a comedian with all them jokes you've got.
Yeah, and then like, there's no point in getting mad about it because she's gonna be mad at everything.
Yeah,
and
truly.
there's literally nothing you could do right. So you just have to be like, oh my gosh, that silly woman being mad again.
And also, like, maybe get rid of her number. Lose my number.
Lose my
Maybe.
number. Block me, please.
But there is a little bit left to this story.
All right.
From here, we decided that I'm officially no contact with her.
Nice.
Makes sense. And he is preparing for a temporary no contact to begin after graduation. This is mainly because he wants to be able to say goodbye to his grandma and get his stuff from her house without causing problems. We still have to see her at graduation, and she 100% will throw a tantrum, so I'm not looking forward to the weekend. However, I feel a sense of peace that in 2 weeks she will be out of my life and we will be starting a new life together in a place surrounded by people who actually love us and treat us with respect.
Yeah.
And that is the end of that story.
There you go. Just be rid of her.
Yeah.
Be rid of her.
Be rid of her.
My boyfriend has a really clingy best friend. I'm getting suspicious.
It's time to take a couple steps back, best friend.
So this is a really long story, but basically I don't trust my boyfriend and his best female friend's relationship. And I think they've either had spicy sleep before or dated.
Oh, best female friend. Oh, don't worry about her. Oh.
Don't worry about her. By the way, this comes from Am I Crazy 1786. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So we've been dating for about 6 months now, and I'm really head over heels in love with this guy. He's amazing, really good looking, and the best spicy sleep I've ever had.
Probably had a lot of practice.
I really don't want to lose him if I'm just being paranoid, but he's my first ever proper relationship, and I don't know if I'm missing red flags. After 2 months of dating, I noticed that she FaceTimes him a lot. I'm talking at least 3 times a day.
Go!
And they always seem to make goofy faces at each other and act super close and silly, way different to how he is with me. 3 times a day, FaceTiming anyone is a lot.
Go tell that to the guy in the room next door.
They've been friends for 5 or 6 years, and they met through someone else. She is the only person on his phone with an emoji next to her name. It's a crown and then a heart. You have to run, OP. And he told me that the reason why that is because her nickname by everyone is Princess, so it's always been that way since they met. You can take the heart off, though. Emoji's fine. Heart emoji, different message. I didn't really care until one day we were in a shop together and I asked if they ever dated before, and he casually told me that they were going to date before, but she slept with one of his friends, so they never did. And she regretted it and actually had feelings for him, but he didn't feel the same way, so they just continued being friends. That made me worried, especially because they text and FaceTime all the time, and she calls him even if it's 3 a.m. just to chat, or if she needs help with something, and he always drops everything to speak to her. They have a secret SOS code with each other, which means that they have to drop everything to help each other out, even if we are on FaceTime. And he will tell me that she has an SOS and will call me back later. Today, he was on FaceTime with her, and she asked where he was, and he said that he was out with a friend. And then later, another friend called him a guy, and he told him he was with me, his girlfriend. I asked him why he told her he was with a friend, but the other guy, he specifically said girlfriend. He told me to drop it and that I was being paranoid and didn't remember. Then he admitted that he hadn't really told her much about me, although she knows me roughly, because he didn't want to tell all of his friends unless we were 100% serious. So he only has told a few friends. However, he has another female friend who he told about me, and he's really close to her, so I think he's lying. OP, so do I. I do too. I was playing with his phone. He was on mine, and as a joke, we were going through each other's pictures. He didn't mind. He allowed it, and it was just a joke.
This isn't a fun joke. I don't like this game.
It's a dangerous joke. And we were laying on bed when I found a video she sent him of her having spicy sleep with a guy. I asked him why she would send him that if they are just friends, and he said that it was years ago with an ex of hers, and she sent it to him as a joke. That was super weird. Anyway, I ignored it, but still felt like something was off. So I went back on his phone later when he wasn't looking. I know 100% this is wrong, but I felt like he was lying. And I found messages from him to her saying that they have to tone down their FaceTimes to a friendship level because his aunt is coming over for the weekend. Even though it was me that he was seeing over the weekend, so he lied to her about me being here. I couldn't confront him as I didn't want him to know that I went through his phone. Then he invited me out to spend the day with his friends, one guy and a girl. And I asked if his female best friend would be coming, and he said no, because she's sick. I also thought that he was lying and hiding something. I feel like they have dated before, or she has feelings for him. And I don't trust them two together, especially as he does photography as a side job and has taken pictures of her and his other friends in lingerie for his portfolio at his house. He showed me all the pics, and he has a separate Instagram for it. I told him that I don't trust her because of the spicy sleep video and the fact that he's seen her in lingerie because of his side job. So he finally agreed to tell her about me on the phone in front of me, and I told her to reassure me that they are just friends, and told me that whatever friendship she and him have is none of my business, and that I should just trust whatever he says or break up with him. He didn't even back me up or anything or tell her off. He hung up, and we didn't speak about it, and I left because I was so upset. Good, get out of there. I just feel super insecure and worried, and he always tells me that I'm being paranoid and that if he wanted to date her, they would already. But now I feel super betrayed and like he doesn't even stand up for me, and I went home and cried and haven't spoken to him since. Should I give him an ultimatum to stop being friends with her, or am I just being a paranoid, crazy girlfriend? And we have an update, but what's your answer?
OP, I understand that this is your first proper relationship, and yes, he looks good, he does the thing really good, but there's other guys out there, there's other possibilities out there. If you go out and you pursue yourself in better ways, you will find someone that actually values a relationship with you and loves you and doesn't love their girl best friend and is going on this weird romantic journey with them while you're kind of in the middle of it.
He texted me all day begging me to come over so that he can explain. I came all the way to his house crying my eyes out, asking him to tell me the truth about his female friend, and I admitted that I saw the text between them both about me being an aunt. Then he said that I must have been confused and said that he never sent her that. I went back on his phone and he deleted it. Then I cried and asked him why he allowed his friend to talk to me like that. And he said that when I left, he called her back and told her that the way she spoke to me was unacceptable and even deleted the emojis next to her name to try and prove it. That's 100% a lie. 100% a lie. I cried and said that it wasn't good enough and that he needs to get her to apologize on the phone because I didn't believe him. He was reluctant, and finally he called her, and when she answered, he was being super weird and didn't even want to say that I was in the room. Then she asked why he was calling and why he was acting weird, and she was like, "Oh, are you with your aunt?" So then I got so fed up and shouted and asked him why she would ask that unless he didn't send her the text. Then he got flustered and was like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. There's no and. And then his friend was like, oh, I know. It's that girl you're with again. And I asked her outright to apologize and she refused, saying that she had nothing to be sorry for. Then he feebly tried to ask her to apologize, saying where I was coming from, clearly just to please me, not really meaning it, and she could tell. Then he said that he can't force her to apologize and he can see both sides. Then he tried to say that it was my fault and I shouldn't have been snooping through his phone and that I shouldn't have shouted at his friend as his girlfriend, even though she was rude to me first.
Girl, if you don't break up with him,
dude, I'll do it for you.
Yeah. Like, do you not understand how deep this guy's going? He's trying to juggle two people at once.
I just love the consistent lying for both people. Like the best friend he's lying to and he's lying to the girlfriend. He's just like, wait.
Literally, I can't take his manipulation and lies. I started crying again, and his female friend then turned on me, calling me a red flag for going through his phone and being obsessed and weird, and saying me and him haven't been going out that long to get involved in hers and his friendship.
Well, we're going out, and like we're a couple.
Yeah. Oh, then I shouted that we were together for 6 months, and she didn't know. Either way, she didn't care, and said that I'm not good enough for him.
Of course, she's going to say that.
Yeah, of course.
Duh.
He didn't even interrupt her or explain or anything. I had enough and I stormed out. I cried the whole way home and I have blocked him. Good! He has called me about 30 times. My best friend thinks that he may have been trying to use me for a passport because he's from another country and thinks that the girl may have been in on it. I'm so heartbroken and I can't stop crying.
Ooh.
I honestly thought that he was the one, but I am very naive and easily led on. I should have known better. Sad face. And there is an update. I should probably make a whole new post, but anyway, he has a separate phone, which he has been calling me on all day.
Why does he have a separate phone?
Yeah, what is that about? I feel like they're so young. So why, at probably a young age, why does he have a separate phone? I ignored all of them. Then a different number called me and it was his other female friend. And basically she was trying to vouch for him and explain that he's a really good guy. Then when I told her everything, she was shocked because she didn't know. You're like, yeah, what about now? Are you still thinking he's a good guy now?
Oh,
shoot.
I'll call you back.
Yeah. Then she admitted even more stuff that I didn't know before. That they all got wasted and kissed before at a club that her and him and the other girl, and that once they played Truth or Dare and the other female best friend was dared to kiss his wiener as a joke. Both were years ago. That creeped me out so much. Yeah, me too. Then she was like, apart from this stuff, nothing else that she knows has happened. And that even though that stuff happened, they still are only just friends. She admitted that the other girl did have feelings for him and probably still does, but he doesn't feel the same way, and told me that she did try to tell them that their weird friendship would stop any of them from being in a relationship with others. Anyway, I told her to forget it. I don't need his friends begging and doing his dirty work for him, and that I don't need this kind of drama in my life. Good for you, OP. That's true. And then she was like, oh, but you shouldn't have been rude to her and him. That shows disrespect as his girlfriend. I'm just being honest. And you should be careful as he's a good guy. He's just not good at explaining himself. How did he get all of these people to believe him?
He's trying to get that passport locked down, dude.
How did he manipulate all these people to believe that he's a good guy? I worry for this group of friends.
He sounds pretty manipulative.
Clearly. I worry. But you know what you should never worry about is losing us, because we'll always be here. And where will we be, Riley?
On your favorite podcast platform, Apple, Spotify, or iHeartRadio.
Yep, and more. And you know what you're going to find there? You're going to find more full episodes of stories just like this one. You just got to search, okay, story time. I'm mentally a bit slow. I have autism, and my English isn't that great. People always make fun of me or take advantage of me and my good nature, and I can get wrapped up in stuff like getting excited with dating, and I forget that it's not even that real. I can't explain, but if you know what I mean. They are still trying to make it seem like it's my fault and that I'm the crazy rude one and shouldn't have gone on his phone. Plus, it's too crazy him getting other people to call me, begging for me back. Now I'm 100% sure that he's trying to use me, otherwise he wouldn't be trying so hard to still be with me. Anyway, I blocked the other girl and told her to leave me alone too and for people to stop the calls to me. And that is the end of that story.
My girlfriend wanted me to move out, so I broke up with her.
Well, that's a decision.
So my significant other and I were immediately attracted to one another. We met 6 years ago, and I moved in with her only after a couple of months. I knew what I was getting into. She owned a condo that she purchased with her ex, who had left her probably about a year prior, and she was stuck with a poor mortgage rate and was struggling to chip away at about $10,000 in credit card debt. By the way, this comes from Stray Canoe, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, I don't mind at all that I would be a great help to her financially because we both got along so well from day one. I'm eccentric, read introvert, emotionally complicated, not always the easiest person to get along with. And I value the fact that she saw past my weird exterior to the kind, loving, and generous person that I am when given the chance to open up in a comfortable environment.
So, like, that's usually, like, kind of just partnership?
I guess so. I didn't feel taken advantage of. The affectionate feelings we had were, and still are, mutual and genuine. That always formed the core of the life we share. As the years went by, we discovered things about each other that caused problems, as one would expect, for the most part. We were a living embodiment of the serenity prayer. We learned to accept things about one another. I am emotionally needy sometimes. She kind of sucks at household and managing finances. We changed things that we could. My neediness restricted her socially, so I learned to trust her, not to begrudge her time with her friends. She tries her best to be tidy and prudent with her cash flow and tries to meet my emotional needs in a healthy, non-dysfunctional, disabling way. And our wisdom grew slowly but surely. Through it all, our affection for and commitment towards one another won out other conflicts. Okay, this seems to be pretty good.
We're
so far.
inching in the right direction.
Teaming up allowed us to tackle her crappy financial situation. It took some time, but we got rid of the credit card debt, and we have managed to keep the condo. The thing is, even though we teamed up, we both wanted independent finances. So we have kept our separate bank accounts. We split expenses, not quite evenly. I cover food, internet, entertainment, car payments, while she shoulders the responsibilities for handling the overpriced mortgage payments, home insurance, and condo fees because she sees it as her mess. That's true. It is also her condo. I know that you're like living in there with her. She's taking on more of it, and it is her condo. It seems kind of fair, right? Should he chip in on the condo mortgage payments if he's living there?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, is it going to be like a split asset? Like,
I don't think- it doesn't look
how
like
far
it.
are you guys going with that?
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, if you want to do something, like, it should definitely be a written agreement.
Mhm.
It shouldn't be like a, iron it out for real if you're going to do it.
She wouldn't let me sign on the mortgage or even sit in when she had it renewed, even though I just wanted to learn the process. I've never had a mortgage myself. Unfortunately, she still misses the occasional payment due to her habit of spending most of her extra money rather than saving it, and I've had to bail her out. So now he's kind of helping out.
I just love the way that's phrased. Like, unfortunately, due to circumstances completely out of our control, she is constantly spending all of her money.
Dang.
So she can't pay the mortgage.
I don't see this as unfair because I'm able to save a good amount of money because I was covering fewer expenses. But she still insists on paying me back, even if it takes a few months. This has been the arrangement all this time, and so far, it has worked itself out despite being somewhat unbalanced. As for the non-financial aspect, our bond, while a little less passionate than when we first met, is still strong. Less strong than I believe, more on that to come. We are still affectionate and intimate and spend lots of time in our spare time together. But we have separate hobbies and groups of friends, which gives us some breathing room. Admittedly, both of our lives are in a bit of a rut. I've been in the same job since we met, ordered desk clerk at a building supply company with minimal chance for advancement, though I am toying with the idea of becoming machinist. I play bass, sing an occasional rock band once a week with occasional performances. She is a clothing store manager, advancing slowly but surely towards becoming a district manager. But She does little in her spare time but hang out at home with me, watch TV, see friends occasionally, and mess around with the odd craft project. Okay, seems like a regular couple.
We're finding balance.
Both of our jobs are stressful, and I have started drinking moderate amounts almost every day in order to relax and unwind when I get home, while she barely drinks at all.
That's not a good coping mechanism, my guy. Let's not do that.
I don't get much exercise, so I put on some weight. But for the most part, she hasn't put any pressure on me to change my lifestyle. I believe we are both sufficiently content. That changed last night. When she was over at her best friend's house, her friend being the wife of a married couple, while I was at home chilling, browsing Reddit, and getting ready for bed, I texted her around midnight. When I was expecting her to come home, asking whether she would still drive to me to work the next day because my car was in the shop. But to my surprise, her phone was off. Okay, whatever, I said to myself. They're probably just having a good time, and she forgot to plug her phone in. I fought the urge to be my old needy self and text her friend to ask my significant other to call me. But as the minutes turned into an hour, I became increasingly nervous since this wasn't like her at all. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm thinking cheating, but like she probably just has her phone not on. You? Any thoughts?
I mean, like, I'll be a worrier guy. So if it comes down to the point where I'm like, I've expected to hear from you and I haven't, I'm not gonna be like, ooh, am I being clingy? I'm gonna be like, hey, you're alive, right?
Okay,
And
you're
just doing
checking about safety.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just want to make sure okay.
Yeah.
And then if you don't want to talk to me, all right, okay.
She finally texted me back, saying she was surprised I was still up and giving me some cryptic response about what they were up to. This freaked me out for one very large reason. The friend that she was visiting and this friend's husband both had hinted in the past that they didn't think my significant other and I were right for each other. I never put much thought to it since they are very different people from us, and neither of them understand or even know me particularly well. And I thought my significant other also took their perspective with a grain of salt. Apparently not. Ooh, after a few drinks and it gets late at night, you start. Oh yeah, that sounds about right.
Start letting the truth fly.
Start letting influences hit. Finally, at 2 a.m., she called me. I was wide awake and a nervous wreck. I was initially very upset about her lateness, but I calmed down and asked what she had been up to. She confirmed that what I had feared was in fact not paranoia, and it was actually quite well founded. She even dropped the proverbial bomb. She said that she had been dissatisfied for some time and was looking at scenarios that would solve the problems that she perceived. I was confused at first because she was beating around the bush with her choice of words. But when she made it home, I questioned what she really meant, and the real story came out. The only scenario that she thought would be helpful for me was to move out. Out of 14 trillion, 500 billion, 83 million, 400,001.
I mean, like, she's not wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, you guys moved in real quick, and it's hard to, it can be difficult to, like, take a perceived step back in a relationship where it's like, well, we moved in together and it failed, so now what? Did we fail?
Yeah.
But it can just be like you did it too early, maybe.
I would say that.
But
Thought
you know,
process behind moving in, it's moving in, proposing, and then married, and then, on from there. But
yeah, I feel like move in and then undoing that is okay, but it's like, it's not like being like, let's get engaged, and then it's like, okay, just kidding, let's unengage. I feel like that's like a, well, you're probably not making it back from that. But
moving in together and being like, we should move out.
If it's done in the right way, you could do it. But if it's emotionally charged at all, it's probably going to be like the beginning of the end.
She didn't say break up. In fact, it seems she wants to separate just for a while so she can work some things out for herself. I was very emotional at first. I'm a person who is most comfortable with a partner I can live and share a bed with every night. I couldn't imagine that our relationship could survive a separation, but I calmed myself down and listened very carefully to the reasons she wanted to have this happen. She is unhappy with the aforementioned rut that we're in. and with the kind of people we have become. She is concerned that we are both inactive blobs that sit around too much, that my job is a dead end, and that the fact that I've begun drinking more and gaining more weight is a sign that our lives are in a downslide. She put a lot of blame on herself. She feels guilty that I have to bail her out and do most of the household work, and yet, at the same time, she shifted the blame on me, in so many words, to me, or rather the relationship itself, for being a crutch, basically enabling her to be lazy and financially irresponsible because I'm always there to help her out and do the things that need to be done. She also felt guilty that she was keeping me from playing more music, even though I had made my own choice about it. I had, at a time when I was more enthusiastic about jamming, expressed a desire for us to move closer to the city center for that purpose, but it simply hadn't been possible for us at that time. And as a few years passed, I chose to settle into a more casual approach to playing.
Oh my God, so they've been living together for years.
Yep.
Is that what I just heard?
Yep. I think so.
This is just my theory. This is my feeling on it. She's kind of seeing you go downhill in a way, so to speak.
Mm.
And instead of being like, all right, I'm going to try to uplift my partner out of this, she's kind of being like, ooh, that's not the guy I liked, so I'm going to back away.
Yeah.
And like, you know, after 6 years.
And also helping her pay off her debt.
And you helped her pay off her debt.
She said
you'd think that there'd be more.
Yeah.
There's a lot of issues.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues.
And
I think they're being addressed. They're not breaking up. They're just being addressed. She says she recognizes that her shortcomings that are causing her distress, but she's convinced that she will be unable to improve herself within our current arrangement. She wants to be alone to prove that she can be independent and look after herself. I argue that there's nothing wrong with me being there to help her because that's what couples are meant to do, and that if she really wants to change her behavior, I can be a help rather than a hindrance. I pointed out that she is always broke, even with me covering expenses, so there's no way she would be able to keep up the condo if we were to separate. She believes otherwise. She thinks that covering all the expenses herself will force her to become more responsible. My instinct told me her reasoning is backwards, and I said so. She pushes me away. She'll only dig herself into another hole. I believe she has to find the change within herself while in a safe, supportive environment. Maybe she's right, but my own experiences prior to meeting her taught me that total independence is an illusion. In the broader sense, we modern humans are totally dependent on the society in which we live in, and the individual sense, turning down assistance, which is solely needed, only serves to pointless alienation from oneself from those who wish to help. I argued that what matters is how we behave when we receive assistance. On the other end of the spectrum, we can choose to use generosity as an excuse for complacency and become spoiled, always expecting a handout. On the correct end of the spectrum, we can be inspired by generosity and use it as an opportunity to better ourselves and eventually return or pay forward what we have given.
I feel like something's being talked around. I feel circles. There's something in the middle of all of this like jargon, which whatever, it has its place, but it's like, why are we talking about that?
Girl,
she
break up with him.
probably wants to break up and find someone else because she's not attracted to you anymore because you're depressed and drinking a lot and you aren't as physically appealing to her as you used to be.
Yep.
She doesn't want to say that to you. So she's saying all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But like, that's a reality sometimes. It's like, and it's informing. It's like she's not wanting to lift you up out of this.
I don't like this. Ugh.
It's just like, yeah, she doesn't want to say the thing that would make her an undeniable bad guy in the situation.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't want to stick around while you're down and out. I want to go find greener pastures.
Let's keep reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said that, for example, if I have the time to clean the kitchen, rather than feel guilty about it or accepting unequal situation as the norm, she should express her gratitude by cleaning the bathroom. But no, it seems there's no convincing her. She cannot see any other solution, and it appears I will be forced to accept it. It's funny. Neither of us grew up with the best role models to show us how to maintain a steady relationship. I was raised by a single mother who, while being intelligent and loving, was never able to maintain relationships with men for more than a year or two, probably due to the abuse she suffered as a young woman. My significant other's parents despised one another and fought consistently, and yet forced themselves to live under the same roof because they thought that it was the proper environment in which to raise two of their daughters. Her mother's solution to conflict would be to leave for a long period of time, but she would always come back, though not now that her kids are grown. Now my significant other is adopting the same strategy as her mother. Hold up now. She can't seem to recognize that the fact that she and I are able to set our emotions aside and discuss our concerns in a calm and rational way suggests that we and I have the potential to form a healthier relationship than our parents ever did. She is overcome with pessimism, and nothing I've said so far has changed her mind. Simply writing this novella of the post has helped me to organize my thoughts on the situation, but I would appreciate any advice you wacky internet strangers might be able to offer. And by the way, if you have any advice and you want to talk along with us, go to your favorite freaking podcast platform, Apple, iHeart, or Spotify, search up OK Storytime, and comment along. Just listen to it, press pause, say you were a little bit, press continue, and then you'll hear Dakota spot or Keon spot.
That's right.
Guys, we got an edit. I think she wants to break up with you,
Yeah.
and this guy is overthinking like crazy.
Well, she doesn't want to be the bad guy. No one ever wants to be the bad guy. Is it suspicious that the ex-girlfriend had her house paid off, or that this girlfriend had the house paid off, and now she's like, I gotta like go find other guys?
Yeah.
That is a little suspicious, but there's other factors like OP's personality, and it's like, look, if people change, like 6 years is more than enough time for somebody to change, and they can change into a person that we're not quite as into as the person they were when we met them.
Let's read the update. After listening to the advice I received here and elsewhere, although it seemed to echo the same sentiment, I went ahead and stopped resisting what I now realize to be the best course of action for both of us.
They breaking up.
Already knew it deep down, but I was afraid of the pain and emptiness that comes with a breakup. Thankfully, there's no anger or hatred between us, only love and compassion, which will make the transition a bit easier, though we are both currently drowning in highly complicated feelings. So they broke up?
Yeah, they're done. And that's the end, just like that?
I know you helped me pay off my credit card debt and pay my mortgage, but yeah, you should leave now.
But, also, just because someone did that for you does not mean that you're,
entitled to
obligated to stay with them forever. However, it does feel like he's in like a really bad place. And instead of being like, all right, I'm going to make sure we get through this, she's like, it's really looking like this is more than I want to chew on right now.
Okay.
So I think we should just, and then instead, but she's not putting it like that. She's trying to put it in the way where it's like, oh, it's this, who knows? And it's really me, but it's not me. It's like you and how I feel about you. And then that's me, but really it's you. And none of that got sorted out. And now you paid for her house and she's being like, I can't handle you at your worst. So goodbye.
Yeah, it's probably best that they both break up because they seem toxic for one another.